All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I gotta make sure that this is running. I haven't done one of these in a long time. It's been like a couple years. This is not. I guess my camera. I guess I'm not perfectly centered in front of my monitor. Never realized that because my camera's sitting right there, but it's like to the right of it is where the split is, and I had an even split on my screen. So, anywho, it doesn't really matter. It's all kind of crooked. You know, that's what happens when you live in a house that's all crooked. All like, meh. It's like I said, if I spin on this chair, I kind of like go like this way is going down, and then if I face that way, I'm going up. So it's just like a carnival ride where I like go up and down. It's really funny. All right, we're gonna wait a little bit here. We're gonna do a comparison stream today. I didn't do the blue screen. I usually have the blue screen behind me for those. I honestly, guys, I didn't want to get it out. I was just like, whatever. So I just kind of cut the sides of the camera down a little bit even further so that you guys can see me. But yeah, we're gonna do Istan today. It's gonna be super fun. I had originally the Guild Wars 2 sound effect on, music on, and then the meta actually happened, and there was like Warden Amala was just like meh, 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 and I was like, okay, that's not gonna happen. I'm like, let's just do the non-talkative Guild Wars 1. Hey, hi, Aram. Welcome, Emily. Welcome in, you guys. I don't know how long the stream is gonna be, because Istan and Guild Wars 2. So, the reason why I only do them by region, it's just easier to put them in the playlist and really say, like, hey, you know, every video is like a specific region. So I kind of have to keep it. Like, I could say, hey, we're only doing 2.5 hours of Istan. I might as well do another 2.5 hours of like something else, but I don't know. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to mix and match the thing. I gotta turn on monetization real quick. Always forget to do that, but um, I was watching some weird stuff on YouTube today. Like what? And it makes me it's very interesting because I was watching I was watching a guy, you know, he has like obviously he does something right. He has like millions of views, and again, I'm not gonna say who it is or whatever, but he's one of those YouTubers that has these like overly crazy reactions when something happens, like you know, and screams and stuff. And I'm like, man, you know, it's like I guess that gets the views, right? Like that's the whole thing, right? Like I get people want to see that kind of stuff, but it's just so fake. I'm like, who reacts like that in a game? Like playing a game. Like I get maybe a scary game, but even then you're just kind of like, oh, you know, you jump and you just like kind of. But he's like screaming into the microphone, right? To the point where he has to have like he's using some kind of program to like dampen the sound when it gets too loud because you could hear it how like the sound kind of shifts like a little bit more muffled when he screams because he's doing it so loud. And I'm just like, people, this is what people want, I guess, right? Like, is that why I'm not like super popular and I don't have a bazillion people watching me every time? Is that why? Like, I will never be that person. I will never like. I couldn't even be that way because I'm just not good enough of an actor. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, even if I tried, I wouldn't be good enough of an actor. Hi, Jacob. Welcome, everyone. I hope you guys are doing good. I got a message. You guys probably heard that. Hello? Oh, weird. Random. So random. Okay. ArenaNet started their money printer in late June. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean a money printer in late June? Oh, with the with the swimwear, you mean? Is that what you're talking about? I totally forgot about that coming into the game. I'm kind of excited about it. Just because it's nice to be able to create sexy looking characters on men. Men have had for a long time like a really hard time to do that. Like not men, but like male characters in the game. So it's kind of nice, you know. It's like kind of nice. I can dress up some of my guys in sexy costumes and whatever. So it's nice to have that. All right. Anyways, are you guys excited? So just to give you, I'm kind of waiting for more people to get here. That's why I'm kind of like dragging on and not really doing anything. But so just to give you guys an overview. So I think tomorrow we're gonna do I think I'm gonna do another World vs. World stream. Land Spears sucks. Unless we started like Paragon, it's man. Well, you haven't even Jacob, okay? Jacob. Alright, I understand a lot of your complaints that you've had. I understand a lot of the things that you said, but at least give it a chance. We haven't even seen it. Give it to Tuesday, okay? We have 2 days. Give it 2 days and see, and if they show you what it is, you don't know if it's just land spears. It's kind of weird because, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But just give it a chance, right? I understand. Like, I'm all for it if they really suck and if the skill sucks and everything sucks, for you to complain about it. But we haven't even seen it yet. So give it until Tuesday to see what really happens. We've only barely seen anything. Like, we have not seen anything. My cat knocks over my ring light all the time, and then it's like crooked, and it drives me crazy because I'm looking right at it. I'm super excited, right? I'm super excited as well. That fucking light. I don't know what she does with it. She like goes behind my monitor when she's not supposed to, and then I have a little stand, and it's kind of, it's funky because it's supposed to be a stand for a camera, that stands like on the ground. It's like a really big one. So I shove it behind my monitor to hold my light. So it doesn't quite fit. So when you like kind of nudge it, it falls over, and I wouldn't stand back up, and it was driving me crazy. So anyways, so today we're gonna do this. Tomorrow I think we're gonna do just a random. I think I'm gonna do World vs. World. We'll hang out. Because I think people. It's interesting to think about because people have had time to sort their feelings and their mostly their predictions and their like those types of things to the things that we've seen, right? To kind of we've had time to read up online, and there was an interview with one of the developers and stuff like that came out. So there was like a lot of things that we kind of had time. So tomorrow we can kind of sit down and make final predictions together. We'll hang out, we'll kind of relax, and we'll have a fun little chill stream tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, I'll be going live. Again, they didn't really say if they're going to do a blog post or a stream. I think it's going to be a blog post. Here's my reason why. Because if it was a stream that they were going to do, they would have announced it sooner, right? Or they would have at least announced that it was a stream, because they need people to watch the streams, right? So they're not doing a stream. I can 100% guarantee you guys it's not a stream. I don't know if it's going to be a video, because if you guys remember for Path of Fire, they just made a video. It was like a 30-minute long video or something that they released. So they might do that. I don't know. They might just do a trailer, but I think it's going to be a blog post again, guys. We might get multiple different things here and there, but I think it's going to be a blog post. I think that's what it's going to be. Almost time to let everyone see stuff. Yes. Rip Kamadan and Guild Wars 2. Yeah, I know, it's kind of a shame, right? Yeah, Kamadan was kind of cool. So, but anyway, so, and then, yeah, Tuesday we're going to do that. Tuesday we're going to have a good time, getting super excited about whatever. So, what I wanted to say about the land spears, right? Because there's been a lot of discussion about land spears and stuff, because we've only seen the one person wield the spear. We don't know what class it was, all these things, right? So people are like, oh, we're getting land spears. But I'm like, yeah, but not everyone can wield spears. Like, if you look at the elementalists, they can only wield tridents. So are they gonna get land spears? I don't think that's what's gonna happen, guys. I think we're gonna get all 3 underwater weapons on land. Just every profession is gonna get one of them, right? So I think it's guaranteed that the elementalists will get their trident, because that's the only weapon they can use, and they're taking that on land. Whereas they're probably gonna pick one for whatever other class, and say, okay, well, that's what you're gonna get on it. Is there another profession, guys, that only can wield one weapon underwater? I can only think of the elementalists, but I could be wrong. Oh, you accepted it? What is happening? Oh, I did. I did. I did accept it. Sorry, I totally didn't even realize. Oh, I really like these. What am I looking at? I really like these. These are really nice though. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through your So Timothy just sent me his Twitter with some of the pictures. Those are really cool. I really love those. Yeah. Ray's a reaction is kind of like my reaction right now. Okay, that's a weird thing down there. Well, it's very nice. Only yeah, it's a really good atmospheric music, right? Primordus and Jormac. These pictures are really good, Timothy. Those are really, really good. I love them very much. I also love your profile picture. That looks really cool too. Um really, really cool. Really cool stuff. I love it. So senior UI gameplay engineer and former UI engineer. Cool, awesome. That's super fun. And you stream as well. I didn't know that. Well, that's fun. I love it. Thanks. I'm gonna follow you. I don't follow enough people. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't follow enough people. But thank you for sharing that. That's really, really nice. That's just the first one that kind of popped up on there. The other five are linked if you click the retweeted post. Oh, I didn't see the other five. I want to see the other. How do I do that? I see Suwan. Suwan is cool. I really love Suwan. And that sea dragon armor. Oh, so good. Looks so good. Is that what's the Primordus weapon? Is that a mace? I think that's a mace, right? It's a mace and shield. So good. I wish I could draw. Oh, really? That's cool. Oh, I'm sorry, Jacob. Sorry it's so late for you. All right, well, Timothy, I will look at this later. No one can see what I'm doing, so but yeah, I'll look at that later. Thank you for sharing that. It looks really cool. So guys, check out Timothy R at Darkbringer GW2 on Twitter. Some really good stuff. Really, really good. Love it. See, that's the thing. Like the Guild Wars 2 artists and stuff, they're so good. So, so good. Like I just I for a long time I have it I changed it over recently, but for a long time I used to have like concept art as like my background for like for my monitor and stuff. It's just so good. You saw Joko in bikini? I did see that. I did see that picture of Joko in a bikini, and it gave me a good chuckle. I did see that. But that is super, super good, Timothy. It's really, really good. And guys, I tell you what, I wish like if there's two, if I could pick any talent that I would want to have, like it would either be musically inclined, whether it's singing or being good at playing an instrument, or being good at drawing things. I can't do either of those, but anyways. So I think we've waited long enough. So let's get started. Let's look at the maps first before we get started on here. So to kind of show you guys what we're doing here, and it's gonna be kind of weird. I haven't done this in a while because I have to switch between each window back and forth as we do this. So it's gonna be kind of funky for me to like as I you'll see my mouse movements are gonna be kind of weird. So it's kind of cool to look at this first. How far are we? So this would be pretty much it, right? So I'm trying to kind of like line them up so that we have like the I can do without the UI. Stops with the desolation up there. Lonely Vigil. So it should be like right there where the wall is, where the river ends. But then we don't get the whole of the island down here. Or you guys can't see that. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so anyways, guys, here we are. We're in Istan, okay? So in Guild Wars 1, you guys will see there's a lot more to be explored, right? So we get all the stuff up here, but then we also get, so in Guild Wars 2 at the Astralarium, you can draw like a all the way down. You can draw like a line. There's a wall that comes down, okay? And none of these other things down here and here and here and here are explorable. I'm gonna show you guys nonetheless because we have time. The first city of Fariner in Guild Wars 2 was actually like almost like it was almost like a story dungeon, I would call it. And that's gonna be super fun to kind of go through. I don't think I've ever done I don't think I know Fariner good enough, like the layout of it, to know if it actually works out between the two games. So that'll be my first time actually looking at these and really being like, okay, like they fit or whatever, you know. So I don't know, but we'll have to look at some of these things. As you guys can see, I haven't explored everything here. This is still the Matani Keys is one of the things that I so would love to see in Guild Wars 2, but that's okay. We're gonna start off with going to Palawadon, okay? So we're gonna go into Palawadon. Luckily, they just did the meta, which means that the town is gonna be full of people, and we have scapegoats. We have live bait to keep us from dying, from getting shot down. I'm gonna try to just stay on my sky scale because it's just like murder out there. It's murder on the dance floor out there, guys. So I'm just gonna, yeah, it's gonna be more Guild Wars 2, well, more Guild Wars 1 stuff than Guild Wars 2, but it's also night, which kind of sucks. I don't know when night is over, but it is night right now. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to stay in the air. Stay in the air. Okay, so if we kind of look at, yeah, this is it right here. So I'm gonna give you guys the best view that I can. So I'm here in Camadan, okay? So this is Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2 on the left. Obviously, you guys can see it. Like I said, the windows are gonna get funky. It's like I accidentally moved too far to the left or the right. I love seeing the cursor go from one game to the next game. Like you guys can't see it on your stream, but they actually switch for me. So as we are here in Camadan, okay, so if we look at exactly the location, so we actually have a statue here, right? It's in Guild Wars 1. We have a statue of a sun spear here, okay? There's the scribes are hanging out. See, I'm scrolling in Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 is reacting. Right now I have my mouse in Guild Wars. Why is that happening? Stop that. Why is Guild Wars 2 reacting when I'm not even in the window? Look at this. And if I press the right button, this is stupid. Alright, anyways, I don't know why that's happening. Some weird technicality. Oh, also, I will tell you guys, Guild Wars, this might crash or something. I had it earlier. I was doing a test of it earlier just to make sure that it was working, and Guild Wars 1 just randomly crashed. I don't know why. It was giving me some kind of weird error that I've never seen before, so I'm like, oops. So anyways, here we are. So there's a statue right here. We have the scribes. You have Dermot that's hanging out. You know, he's the guy. He creates the Dermot Priory. You know, we've talked to him many a times. So he kind of has the bonus missions that you can do with him, which are Saul Delesia's story, Master Togo, Try Asa, Gwen, and yeah, and you can do that there. So, but there's a statue right here of a sun spear, like a big sun spear statue. So in Guild Wars 2, well, it's gone, but there's a statue of Joko that sits right atop of this, okay? Like I said, the meta is going on, so there's people like actually running around. But this is pretty much the little plaza right in front that I'm just, you know, they obviously changed a lot of how this whole town is laid out, but the exact same location right here would be where the statue is, right? So we have the statue with stairs. You know, we see the stairs on the sides. We have the same stairs going towards Sargas. Going towards the statue, we have stairs here and stairs over here, and that kind of is supposed to symbolize the same area that we have in Guild Wars 2. And then this is the little plaza right down below. So that's kind of this whole area. would be this whole area, stairs, and you go down to the little plaza right here. Okay, then it is a little different because we do have this like one building right here, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated because that does not exist in Guild Wars 1. But what does exist, and I will show you guys that. Hi, Sethic. Welcome back. How are you? Or Seth, I guess, right? That's what we decided on last time. So we don't, if we look to the back, and if you guys remember, we actually did the map. We looked at the different maps in Guild Wars 1 recently, and we kind of saw how this is kind of split in half by this rock formation or whatever. That's where that big building would be, right? This big building would be like right there. It's not there. And then if we look to the left, there is a couple of buildings right here, specifically the counselor's chamber, and that does not exist in Guild Wars 2. So it's a little iffy, right? Obviously they can't perfectly translate one thing to the other thing. Like, I get that, right? It's just kind of a shame that this has changed a little bit, and that it's not quite the same, because you can tell that these buildings are they're supposed to be the original like buildings from way back when, but they also look different because in Guild Wars 1 you will notice that they have like upside down pyramids a lot. Like a lot of the buildings in Guild Wars 1 like in Elona, right? They kind of curve downward like that, right? So where in Guild Wars 2 they made them actual pyramids. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy between the different locations and stuff. You can still find, though, like, certain things, right? So it's like, there's the main gate. We have that same main gate right here. Okay, so that still exists. That's still in the same location. Again, it does look a little different, but, things change. It's 250 years, so who knows? Maybe they changed it up a little bit. Then you could say that these counselor chambers, I mean, there's not much to them. I don't know if I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go through in there, but yeah, so you could maybe say that that's this chamber, just because when you come in here for the meta event, this is where a bunch of the like the leaders of the Awakened and the Loyalists and stuff, like that's where they hang out. So you could say that that's perhaps the council chambers or whatever they're called, because that is also where the consulate, where the leading people of Istan kind of reside, or at least meet. That's where they have their meetings and stuff. So this would be kind of taking the same role in the Empire of Joko, I would presume. And then we get this like these little ribbons across. I've never noticed these ribbons before, but yeah, we get these little like statues with the skulls on them, with the ribbons. I don't, again, these are not exactly the same, so we kind of get a look at some of these things at least. Doing great. It's happy to see new comparison. I know it's been like 2 years, probably. I don't even know. Probably it has been 2 years. And I will be going back to more. So I will continue. So Corna will happen next Sunday. Just because for tomorrow I don't want to do comparison stream tomorrow. We're gonna do like a chill stream tomorrow. And then Tuesday, we're going to talk about all the announcement stuff. And then Sunday is when we're going to go back to the, the whatever, the comparison stream. We're going to go back to comparison stream. So this plaza I always liked in Guild Wars 2, because these are actually like sun and moon. And I don't know if anyone's ever realized that. There's like a moon here, and then there's a sun here, right? It's like zigzaggy. So Sun and Moon Plaza. I don't know if anyone ever has realized that. I don't think it gets pointed out. I don't know if this was done on purpose or not. I just think it's really cool that it's in the shape of like a sun and a moon. Is there a reason for it? Probably not. I don't know. It's probably just randomly done, but it's kind of cool. I like it. If we look at the map, right, you would kind of see that this would be where the docks are, right? We know that the sun docks are like way down here, where the docks are kind of combined. This would be, I talked about this during the map thing. We have regular docks for regular people, Then we have the sun docks for the sun spears, and then we have the consulate docks for the consulate. Never noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that like way early on when you actually come here. I was just like, why does this island in particular kind of looked weird to me? Because I remember because it has all the like the pillars on it, and I'm like, why does it look like that? And then you usually fight the guy down there that like he spins you around. One of the I forgot what they're called, but one of the champion bosses that spins you around. Um, and I kind of got thinking, I'm like, why does this look like that? And then I looked on the map and I was like, oh, it's like a crescent moon shape, right? And then you move on, and you're just like, wait, that looks like a sun. So it's like a sun and a moon on the plaza, and it's not even mentioned anywhere that it's like that stage of sacrifice. So it's kind of cool. I like that. But this would be where the regular docks are, right? So in Guild Wars 1, we have the regular docks here. Like I said, these would be the like commoners docks. This is where regular people just come and go. You know, they have a couple of little piers here where the ships can hang out, right? And then everything in Guild Wars 1 takes like so much longer. Oh, do I have candy on me? I don't think I have. I don't. I could get some candy that would make me move faster in town. So my goal is with these comparison streams to show you guys at least like something that you haven't noticed before. But that's kind of like everything that I do. Like I did another Did You Know today, and I always think about that. I'm like, do people even care about those Did You Knows? But in my eyes, it's something. Look at all the players, by the way. I just want to point out how many people are. I mean, they're not actively playing. They're just selling stuff. Um, you guys can't really see it. But how do I do this again? Where was the button where you look for? Oh, there we go. So this is where people are, because you can do a party search. But yeah, you can see people wanting to buy stuff and wanting to sell stuff. So you guys can kind of see. So this is in Guild Wars 1. Kamadan is the trading center, right? Because there's no actual trading post in Guild Wars 1, so people had to make up their own thing, and it's kind of moved as time went on, and eventually got stuck on Kamadan. And then eventually Kamadan actually got the nickname of Spamadan because people would just spam things all the time, like things that they wanted to buy and whatever, blah blah blah, right? So, but yeah, so here we are with that. I'm glad that you love the DigiKnows. They're fun. They're fun to make, and like I said, my goal with the DigiKnows is because I've had someone comment recently asking like, "Hey, are you gonna do expansion?" My goal is to get to 50. Okay, because if I have 50 DigiKnows, that means that I have done 99 facts about Guild Wars 2. And then I'm going to make one big video about core Guild Wars 2 like facts, like 99 Guild Wars 2 facts or whatever, right? Maybe I'll add like an extra one at the end or something, like something silly at the very end or something. And post that as a regular video. And then I want to get started on Heart of Thorns, right? And then I don't know how many I'm going to get out of each expansion. But I've kind of looked at some of the expansion stuff, and I'm like, it's really cool because it's easier for me to find stuff because they were trying to put as many details into it as in the core game, but they were only working with like 4 or 5 maps, you know, for every expansion and stuff. So there's a lot of like little things everywhere that we can kind of talk about, which is gonna be the best. Keep it up as long as you like. We love them. I'm glad. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's really nice to know that there's people that do appreciate that. Because some of my videos, I haven't done any big, like, oh, I can turn this in. I can gain. I think Sasuke was the one that I picked as a. Oh. Oh, I guess, yeah. Okay. Alright, I just unlocked 2 heroes that I didn't have before. But yeah, some of my videos, just so you guys know, some of my structured videos, they take like 10 to 15 hours to make. Like from, you know, and this is counting from the point after I already have the like concept in my mind on what I want to do. So I have to sit down and have to write a script, and then I have to like revise the script or like fix mistakes and make sure that it all, like, I have to read through it every time I finish like a new page on it. I read through the whole thing and make sure that it all kind of like works together. And then I have to record the audio. Usually I have to record it 4 or 5 times. Then I have to video, like take video, figure out what I want to do for the video. Then I have to edit the video. I mean, it's a big process, you know. It's like 10 to 15 hours. So it's nice to know. I appreciate you guys appreciating the videos. You know, I mean, it's appreciation for appreciation. Anyways, so this is the second docks. These are the second docks. So they would be right in the middle. They would be right over here. Again, this looks very different in Guild Wars 2, because in Guild Wars 2 they kind of, which makes sense. I feel like that would make sense in the sense of like Palawa Joko has taken over. Why would he have a need for 3 separate docks, right? Because he's just like, well, just use one dock. It doesn't matter. Like you're all my underlings anyways, and none of you matter, right? So he's kind of like went out and he has combined it all into like one dock area, right? So but right around here would be the Sun docks. They're now the whole area is called Sun docks. And I'm probably gonna die here soon because the timer is almost up, so that's okay. And then we have like around the corner over there. I don't think we can really see it, but actually I think these are unique. Found absolutely nothing like them. That shaman is cool, but the details you're showing are mind-blowing for me. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I do very niche content, and I try to do very unique content as well, because and that's something that I have, and again, I'm not calling anyone out. I'm not, a lot of these people still put a lot of effort into their videos and stuff, but I really hate, like, one thing that I really dislike about the Guild Wars 2 or Guild Wars content in general. It's mostly obviously nowadays Guild Wars 2 content, but one thing that really bothers me is if you look through Guild Wars 2 content on YouTube, it's all very samey. There's a lot of the same content over and over again. Yes, you can find unique things if you look through, right? If you look around, you can find unique things. But a lot of it, right, is like the majority, I mean, let's get real. The majority of it is guide videos on how to do certain content, or make money, like gold guide videos. A lot of them are, I think I want to say like 80 to 90%, and this is just a random number I'm throwing out, but that's what it feels like. 80 to 90% of them are build videos, right? Like certain builds that someone has created, whether they're like special roaming builds or open world builds or some kind of funky build that someone came up with, or a PvP build or raiding thing or whatever, right? It's like, that is like a big majority, right? Like those things, and you see them over and over and over again. And I have recently talked about how I found a YouTuber that was rehashing someone else's content from like a few years ago, right? It's like someone made a video about something, about, I think it was specifically build videos, and then like this YouTuber went and made like the exact same video like 2 years later, kind of just like, well, people have forgotten about your video, so I'm gonna make a video about the same exact thing, right? And it's kind of like, again, nothing against them. I'm not here to judge anyone about that, but to me personally, like, I just feel like that is not what I want to do. Okay, whether that's right or wrong to do, whatever. I'm not here, I'm not the content police, so I don't really, whatever. People watch his content, so clearly there's some kind of demand for it because people are watching his content, right? So it's not like, oh my god, this is awful that you're doing this, whatever, right? But to me, it's just like, that's not what I want to do. I want to do something that no one else does, and no one else does this, so, which is really cool. Anyways, so here we are at the docks. We get these huge ships. I really love these ships. I wish Guild Wars 2 had more with like, or Guild Wars 1 had more with like moving ships. Even Guild Wars 2 doesn't really have any moving ships. And then the council docks are right over here. And that's pretty much it. We have a statue of Melander here. It's really interesting that we have a resurrection shrine in, this is not an outpost. This would be considered an explorable area. So I guess you can die here. But if I resign, I just go back to town. Can I even resign? Oh, interesting. I guess I can. Whoops. Whoopsie. We're back in town. We died. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of strange that we have a resurrection shrine in that, just those stocks. But yeah, so that's pretty much Kamadan. We can fly around a little bit, right, in Guild Wars 2 here and kind of see some more. Obviously, it's all been modified and everything has been jokenized, and it's some of the structures are different. I really like the way that they have done the structures in Guild Wars 2 for Ilona. I think they're really, really cool. They might not quite look exactly like how Guild Wars 1 had them, but I still think that they work really well for a desert setting, and they look really, really cool. One other thing I just noticed that I would like to point out, and we can kind of go over here. So you guys can look over, and you'll see that we have these platforms here, right? And we have water running down on them. Well, this is happening right here as well. Do you guys see that? So this would be in the exact location, because this is right in the middle, right? Remember, like we're looking right at as the on like the divider of the city. There's a divider right here in the middle, and you can kind of, if you look, it's really hard. I can't zoom in any further, but if you look right there, you guys can see that there's like the uh the the rock formation that's splitting it, but there's these little fountain areas that are on both sides. They're on both sides. So that is pretty much this. So that's something that has carried over. It's like this weird, I guess somewhere out in there is like water coming up. And in Guild Wars 2, they have pipes that lead down to the side and then spill over. Where in Guild Wars 1, they created just like kind of the same thing, but it's like kind of these cool fountain areas. They almost look like irrigation things or something, but yeah. So that has stayed. So they have indeed. I mean, there is like reminiscing things, right? If you look at that, what's underneath? Oh, it's just like the hall, right? That gets, oh my god, so many statues of Joko. I haven't been here in so long. It's really crazy when you really look for all the like Joko like statues and stuff that are like everywhere. My god, I've never noticed that. It's like, it is really a cult, guys. I have a friend who's super into cults, and she watches or she listens to like podcasts about cults and stuff, and she tells me about them, and she's like, oh my god, you will not believe this thing. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? No, not really. Like, it's a better hobby than, I don't know, most people. It's a better hobby than doing bad things, right? So we could imagine that perhaps potentially Joko came in in 250 years. So if we try to make it fit, right? So instead of saying, well, this doesn't fit, that sucks, let's make it fit, right? So if we say Joko came in and he was like, you know what, we don't need this building anymore because there's no more consulate, right? So we're gonna destroy this. Boom, that's gone. And then he takes and he's like, okay, and he tells the servants, build me a thing in there. Or maybe they decide like, oh god, I'm dying. This is the end for me. Alas, I have died. Ah! I got kicked out, friends. I got kicked out. I'm using my revival orb. I don't care. I can probably switch maps. Oh, does that waste my revival orb? It does. Help! Anyways. So, they could have, however this happened, right? Where maybe Joko said, okay, Gamadan, Spamadan, Palawadan, whatever, right, is going to be your new home. So go in and build yourself like a big hall where you can have your leaders hang out or something, right? And they could have taken this and kind of carved something out of it. We could take that, right? We could take that as headcanon and say, yep, they carved that out of that stone with the help, because there's some bony stuff, so clearly Joko had some kind of something going on here. I mean, there's like big skulls everywhere and stuff going on. And then he made the consulate docks into just the promenade for the clan marshal, or the clan marshal made it into his own promenade. But yeah, there you go. That's Spamadan. The market. So pretty much the market in Guild Wars 1 is right over here. If we go down here, we have not really market, but we do have some. So this is the same location right here, right down here. We got some houses and stuff. I love the detail that ArenaNet puts into like making their maps, especially in Guild Wars 2 now. In Guild Wars 1 they've always had details, but even in Guild Wars like or in Guild Wars 1, but even more so in Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 they really like they place like random things and sometimes it's like it's like who needed this little balcony, right? Like no one needed that. That is not something, but you see it and you're just like, it feels alive because you're just like, well, someone lives in that house. So clearly they, I mean, whether it's an awakened or not, but maybe they want to chill out on a Sunday afternoon, like we are, and they just want to sit there and do whatever. So it happens. It's the thing, guys. Anyways, so the market, there's not really any buildings beside the consulate in Guild Wars 1, as always. Guild Wars 1, we didn't get to see any inside of buildings, which is unfortunate, but that is the way that things are. We're gonna go, before I go north, we're gonna go south. We're gonna explore the south area. Yeah, I don't know how much we can see of it, but I'm gonna show you guys as much as I can. Because there is a little bit of extra stuff, but it's not super important. Um, because Guild Wars 2 just has it be very different. It's very, very different in Guild Wars 2, so it doesn't really matter that we don't get to see all of it, which is unfortunate because this is a cool area. So we have the Chur here fields. Chur here? Oh, we have nobles hanging out. Hello. Okay. Oh, there's a tree. A random tree to be cut down. All right, let's go. Let's go south of the. So we don't actually. We do have a gate. Way down here. We don't know where that leads, right? There's like a door, but we don't know where that goes underneath the statue. It's not quite in the same location though, I would say. Because in Guild Wars 2 or in Guild Wars 1, I would say that the gate that I just went through is more right. Oh, is there a door right there? Wait a minute. Hold on. There is a door right there. So I'd probably say the gate in Guild Wars 1 is probably right where that door is, where that building is. So that's more so where that is. But again, you kind of see that especially the outskirts of town, they're a little bit different. They just look kind of different, but so here we are in the Chur here fields. Obviously, as we look at this, and I will show you guys probably like as I get higher up. I'm gonna show you guys like more of an overview of it. As you guys can see, this is like a super high. We're way above the city now, right? And there's this mountainous, destroyed town. Okay, we can kind of see it was completely destroyed by Joko because there's just a giant tar brand that goes straight through, and it's actually this part of it is actually leaning over and it's falling into the ocean. You can see how it's leaning and it's going over. But there was a town here at some point, right? There's a town where people lived, but it was completely destroyed by Joko. So let's kind of explore. This town, actually in Guild Wars 1, was a training area for the Sun Spears in Guild Wars 1. What really happened between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 is a little iffy because unfortunately we never got the Guild Wars Beyond for Nightfall. For the Nightfall area for Alona. So we don't really know what happened. We're kind of missing some of that stuff. The last thing that we heard in Guild Wars 1, the last big event that happened in the Ilona regions is Cormier ascended to godhood, right? And it's like with that, I feel like a lot of changes came, right? Because when we look at like Ilona as a whole, from Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1, and I talked about this recently, Guild Wars 1, the people, specifically the Vabian people, they had such a high belief in Lissa. Lissa was like their matron goddess, right? They're like, it was just like, everything was Lissa. Everything was there was a lot of Lissa influences, and we're gonna see that, right? There's like a lot. This is called the Mirror of Liss, right? There's other references in a lot of different things where This area I think has like references to Lissa, right? Lissa is always like was always their like matron goddess, and then in Guild Wars 2, this is now obviously changed to Cormier. Why? Well, Cormier was a sun spear. She lived in this country, right? In this region of the world, and people knew her and stuff. And when she ascended to godhood, it was just like, they were like more inclined to follow her. So there was like this major, in 250 years, there was a major shift even in like their religious beliefs. They're still believing in the gods, but they're kind of swapping over from one goddess to another goddess now. And that, that's a huge change if you think about it. But yeah, so there's a trading area. So this is we get to learn about like firing catapults in this mission and stuff. There's a little mission out here. I don't get to do it because I'm not a my character is not from Elona. He's not from Istan, so he doesn't get to do a lot of these things, right? But we still have like this little town out there. We're gonna go further. So if we look at the map, we're venturing right. If we look at the map, I would be like right over here. Okay, and this is the Chabek thrust, which I need to look at something real quick. 1 second. Yeah, so the you guys will for those of you. Okay, I guess someone could ferry me into this mission. So, the reference of the name there, right here, because this might not mean anything to anyone, um, but it's referring to this town right here, okay? Because it's this area is called the Churhir Fields, right? But that's if you guys kind of look, right? We're like on the right, and the explorable area goes all the way down here, right? Like we go way far away from the actual fields portion of the field, right? And I don't know if I can talk to Laharo over there. Um, but as you guys can see, there's like an actual town out here, right? There's actual like buildings with houses and people. I wonder if can I talk to you, or will you not let me in? Tell us what happened here. We're ready. Yeah. So this mission, this is actually so I can actually do this mission. I didn't know that, but this mission is actually named. I'm not doing this mission because it's just the same area that I was just in, just not explorable. But it's named after the fields are over on the left side, right? But this area is actually the Chabek village. So that's what this is actually called, the Chabek thrust. So this whole village is called Chabek village, and this is the destroyed village. Obviously, it looks like, oh, it's daytime. It looks much nicer and cleaner now, but and brighter. Obviously, none of these buildings are, the same. Again, I could imagine these. I could imagine with the rise of Cormier and the subduing of the demons and kind of getting rid of them and stuff like that, and also getting rid of Varish Asa, I feel like there probably was a more of a I could see perhaps the people like uniting and being more united than they were before, because they all struggled against Varish Asa and the demons together, right? Like we as Sun Spears, we go to Korna, and General Morgan, he's one of the leading people of the Cornans, like he joins us, right? And then we go to Vabi, and the princess, they swear like that they will help us with it, right? So we have this like, these people have kind of been connected across this entire region by the end of Nightfall, right? So I could really see like this whole like restoration effort happen during the in-between times of Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, right? It's like we're swapping over from Lissa to Cormier, but we also are having this like industrial revolution kind of thing where we're all like putting together our heads, our minds, and we're kind of working together, and so this is when even smaller villages like Chabek were able to like kind of expand, right? This looks much larger than it looks in Guild Wars 1. Like in Guild Wars 1, this is kind of the village, right? Little straw wooden huts, and the ones that we just saw out there, they're on fire during the mission, but they actually get put, like put out after the mission. We were just standing right over behind this gate, just so you guys know. That's where we were, or whatever. So, um, but yeah, I mean that's kind of the area here. Not much else to see. We did see, and I did show you guys this. It's very interesting that we can go all the way down here, but yeah, no, it's just gonna so I can't actually go. So you guys would kind of see this on the overworld map. If we were to start a new character, which we will, just so you guys know, once I'm done with the Ilona region comparison streams, we're gonna actually do a Nightfall playthrough. I'm gonna do a Paragon. We're gonna go through. We're gonna take our time like we have been doing with our playthroughs. It's gonna be super fun, just kind of going through and seeing different things. So, but this building right over here, you guys can't, we can't really see it. I could perhaps get a look at it if I were to start a new character or whatever. But that is just that one building. If you guys remember, if you guys haven't seen my map comparison streams, you guys should probably watch them. They're really fun. But I was looking at the different maps, and this is the one building that was standing way outside, like Kamadan or whatever. Like we were like looking at that, and or is it Kamadan? It's probably Kamadan. I keep saying Kamadan because it's catchier when you say Kamadan and Kamadan. But yeah, anyways, so we see this building out here. We can't actually go there. It's just this like one ruined building that's kind of standing, has like some statues and stuff like that on it. I think this what is this? I don't know what this is. I don't know what that does that exist in Guild Wars 2? I suppose it does. It's that right there. So, but anyways, so that's kind of the corner down here. And you guys can see here cliffs instead of fields, because the fields have kind of been destroyed, and what's left. Because if we actually look at the area too, they don't really look like fields. So they actually, you guys see that? Well, okay. Like I said, there's funky stuff going on with the mouse, so I will be jumping back and forth just so you guys know. I have to remember to put this stream on the playlist, on the comparison stream playlist. I keep forgetting to do those. I might also do a new playlist for the map streams, because I haven't done that, so. Yes, bring me back to the fields, please. So when you look at the fields, these aren't really fields, right? Do they look like fields? I mean, this doesn't look like fields. They look more like, cliffs really feels like a more appropriate name for it, right? Like as you look at this, right? So this is in Guild Wars 2, if we go around, this is before we get to the village. So this would be down around here. Again, I don't think there's anything that we can really, we're gonna see some stuff, just so you guys know, we will see some stuff that is like super comparable, especially when we look into Fairner and stuff. And specifically as we get on with the Ilona regions, we're gonna see some really cool stuff that is like carried over in Vabi and stuff. Ooh, I'm excited for that. They did a really good job of carrying over Vabi. Like at least the like different buildings and stuff like that. So this would be kind of where we are now. Again, it looks super different, and it's, but you can kind of see, right? Like if this hadn't all shifted after 250 years, you can kind of see like the cliffs and stuff. I mean that's fair to say that that's probably after 250 years with magical Jinn and a tar mage, right? I feel like that's what Palawa Joko is. Like he doesn't feel like a lich to me. He feels like a tar mage. Because there's always like wherever he has fought, there's like tar, right? And the awakened are all like tar-like. So it's like he's a tar mage. It's a new profession, just so you guys know. So the mouse keeps switching over. So funny. This is where we get flamingos. You can get flamingos out here for your ranger, or for anyone actually. In Guild Wars 2, you can have anyone. But that's kind of it. We do get a little bit of water here, so you guys know. And we cannot go to, so the one area, right? You would be like, ooh, the ancient royal docks, right? That's like that's interesting because that is the entrance that we take all the way to Fairner, right? There's a secret passage that somehow from over here, leads into the tunnel and then probably loops back around or something and leads down here to get to Fairner, right? We can't. This is not available to us. This is, as you guys can see, that's like right there. I can't. I can probably go to like the way south area over here, which would be, south of the Great Hall. We can't really. I mean, we can go here in Guild Wars 2, but this is all cliff-like and stuff. In Guild Wars 1, it's not like that. So we're gonna look at that in a minute. So we're gonna go there. The Heretics Arena, I think that is that the PvP arena in Guild Wars 1? Crucible of the Apostate. That might be the PvP arena. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's. I don't think that's an area that we can go to. So, so we're kind of done with this portion of the area. Let's go. So we have the Challen Docks and the Modri Caverns. So let's kind of go to that region. It's gonna be super disappointing for you guys, because, and I'll show you guys. This is not in Guild Wars 1. It's interesting because a lot of the areas you don't actually go to. Like there's this really interesting replayability that you have in Guild Wars 1 because the regions are these areas are massive. Like the Plains of Jaren are huge. Okay, like we have the Plains of Jaren here, but they feel so much more massive in Guild Wars 1 just because we're slower. We don't have mounts. We have to like walk around, whatever, right? So we're leaving. Okay, anyway, so we're leaving. We're leaving Palawadan, Kamadan, whatever, right? So let's do the same thing in Guild Wars 2, because we are comparing both games. So let's kind of do the same thing. Let's see if we can kind of get the same idea of like where we are, how it looks, how it looked 250 years ago, yada yada yada, all that good stuff, all the good stuff there. Oh god, hello. Do they not? Oh, they do attack. Oh wait. So we have the stupid fog. Oh my god, go away. I don't care. No. But anyway, so yeah, we're leaving, and we kind of have the Great Hall in front of us like that. You can kind of see in both games. We kind of it's there's this thing where even there's something with scale. Okay, so it'll take me about a minute if I were to if I were to walk from if I were to walk from here to the entrance of the Great Hall. Okay, it'd take me about a minute. In Guild Wars 1, it's much farther. The more like, do you see how like, it's much closer together. There's a lot more space here in Guild Wars 1. I don't know where because if you line up the maps, and that shaman has done that, right? You can look at the guide. They do align pretty well, so I don't really know where the discrepancy there is. I don't know if it's the size of the buildings or the size of the characters or the size of the maps or where it is, but it's a lot easier to, it's a lot faster to get to that Great Hall in Guild Wars 2 than it is in Guild Wars 1. So if we walk, I kind of want to fly because I can't really concentrate on fighting. So if we are walking north, in Guild Wars 2 there's a lot more palm trees. We kind of talked about a little bit about the different flora. Sorry guys, I did not mean to open World Business 1. By the way guys, I am rank where is it? I'm rank 1423 guys. I have all my stuff maxed out. I've been getting my legendary armor done, dude. I'm telling you, it's super cool. So we're at the other gate of oh my god, they're shooting at me. Jesus. Everything wants to kill me in Guild Wars 2. It is quite upsetting. Ooh, someone on the griffin. Line up. Whoa, okay. But anyway, so if we come to that same area, again, we can kind of look. So this is like directly north, right? We're kind of directly north. We're kind of in the same exact area, okay? We're in the exact same area. There's no docks here in Guild Wars 1, right? But I kind of want to show you guys what this looked like in Guild Wars 1, nonetheless. So there's nothing out here. There's no docks. There's no palm trees. Again, we get more of the, like, this feels more like a savanna. The flora that we get, a little bit more of that, all right? The trees and stuff. We don't get any palm trees. Palm trees don't exist here, which I think was an interesting choice, but also a very cool choice. It really gave it. It really gives it more of a more of like an African, right? Where in Guild Wars 2, having all these palm trees is more of a tropical flavor, right? Because I feel like a lot of us, like, we think of palm trees when we think of like tropical places, whereas like we see these trees with that same music, and I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's not very loud, but with that music, you kind of you hear it's more of like it feels more like I feel more like I'm in Africa, right? This feels more like savannah, desert, Africa. Like, obviously, I've never been there. I don't know if that's really how you feel when you get, but this is what I imagine, right? If I imagine like Africa, I feel like this is the scene that I would see. Okay, if I were to imagine Africa, I wouldn't really imagine this. Do you see what I'm saying? So, not that it's bad, but I'm saying this gives me more of the idea of the African influences that they took when they made Nightfall, right? So we don't have any of the docks out here, and then if we continue further, this is the Great Hall. We're kind of going. It's interesting when we look at the Great Hall as well. In Guild Wars 1 or in Guild Wars 2, I'm sorry, you can actually like walk around. There's like a space around it. The walls kind of expand around it. It doesn't do that in Guild Wars 1. The walls actually end like at the corner, I'm sorry, in Guild Wars. No, in Guild Wars 1. Yeah, in Guild Wars 1. In Guild Wars 1, they actually end at the corners here, and you only have like a little courtyard here. And then you don't get any of the back part of it. So there's a little change there, but we'll look at that later. Sorry, if I switch my Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, it's just because I keep repeating those words over and over again, and I'm always like, oh my god, my brain. So we get some Ibogas, we get some Jacarandas, so that's what they look like in Guild Wars 1, just so you guys can kind of see them floating around. They look larger, right? They look a little bit bigger, but still kind of, it's kind of cool to see both of these, because those are the pets that we got. So here they are, guys. You guys can see the pets right next to each other. Ibogas, and the Ibogas are super shiny. Do you see how shiny they are? Shiny Ibogas. And there's a warthog here. No caves. So this is the most northern side of the area that we can go to. You can kind of see that on my map a little bit there. They look bigger, right? Yeah, they definitely look bigger. They still, I mean, I think they did a good job with them in Guild, especially the Ibogas. They look very true to nature in Guild Wars 2. But obviously they couldn't. I wish we had, again, if there was ever anything, if someone were to be like, give me a ranger specific change that you would like to see. Whether, whatever change you want to see, like, maybe there's a couple of changes I would do to ranger, but one of the things is, or pets. If we say, give me one, like, ranger pets, give me one change you would do to them, is I would implement the growth, the whole idea that they grow with every level, okay? And that we actually have to level them. I would love to go back to, so in see, that's the thing about Guild Wars 2. The pet system isn't engaging to me, right? Because I can fly over to Shaymore or whatever, right? I can go to one of the juvenile pigs. I can charm it. There's no mechanic to it. It's immediately part of my group, and it's immediately level whatever level I am, and there's nothing else to it. That's it. I do nothing else with that pet. There's no growth. There's no, like, it doesn't feel like a pet. It just kind of feels like a thing that I have. Like, it's like a thing that just exists, right? In Guild Wars 1, you have to charm them, which is actually like, they attack you while you're charming them and stuff. So it's kind of like, There's a little bit of like, it feels more realistic in that sense. And then there's also the idea of, um, as you have to level them individually, whatever pet you have to individually level them, and they grow as they level up. So you kind of feel attached because you're just like, oh, I helped this. Like, it's almost like how we felt about Oreen, right? Oreen we had as an egg, and then we had baby Oreen, which was like the cutest thing ever. I still have the little magnet here of baby Oreen. She always hangs out on the you guys probably hear that on the mic. I'm sorry, but she's hanging out on the mic with us. And then we had adolescent, and then we have elder Oreen, right? So it's like, there's a sense of like we were part of that, right? And it's like I always felt like that about my pets in Guild Wars 1, right? Where I'm just like, man, I helped this pet grow. Like, this pet is like part of my group, and I love this pet, and I charmed it here, and I fought with it, and it grew, and it grew larger, right? They grow larger. They don't grow like massive, right? But it would be kind of cool to have that. I really think that's one thing that we're missing in Guild Wars 2, unfortunately. I don't know if that will ever be something that they can implement or not, but yeah, it is unfortunate that we do not have that. So anyway, so in this region, there is no caverns here, okay? There's just a hill. That's it. There's no hill. Or there's just a hill. There's no caves. That's what I meant to say. So, as you guys can see, we can look across the plains here. This is where the docks would be. I guess there used to be a monument there or something. There used to be something there that's broken. Well, let's check that out. But yeah, so in Guild Wars 2, obviously, everything is a little bit more. It's almost like there was. Because, like, we could maybe even say because of the Elder Dragons. Whoa, there's actually a dead body in there. Look at this, guys. It's a crypt. There's a dead body in there. There's a skeleton man in there. Hi. Hello. Are you doing okay? Well, if you had blood in your body, it would rush right into your head, but you don't. Look, here's like a little window. Like, hey guys, what's going on out there? Another one in here. There's another one in there. It's his friend. He's like, is Fred okay? I can't see him. Can't. Can't get a close up. Like, there he is. Hello. All right. Anyways, so you can kind of maybe you could perhaps say, because obviously the caves, like right where I was, is like gigantic cliffs and caves. You could perhaps, if we were to like, let's explain it away, right? Let's explain it. Let's explain why all of a sudden there's these giant cliffs and stone. You could say perhaps because of the Elder Dragons, right? The Elder Dragons for a long time, and however you want to, people could complain about, we don't like the Elder Dragons or whatever, right? It's like, okay, cool. As enemies or whatever the complaint is. But for a long time, the way that the Elder Dragons were described to us was as forces of nature, right? Kralkatorrik for a long time was described, like, even in the book. If you read the book, is it Edge of Destiny? Yeah, I think it's Edge of Destiny. Like, he's a sandstorm, right? He like transforms into like a sandstorm. Then the we know about, like, if you take like what's his face? Oh my god, I can't. Mordremoth, right? I talked about how in the regions in Guild Wars 1 up here, right, in the wasteland regions in Guild Wars 1, as we like venture through a lot of these areas and stuff, all these trees that look almost like vines with spikes on them and stuff, like they were old, Mordremoth. So it's like they have like a huge influence, right? So what if, for example, we could say, right, we know that right around here, where would it be? Somewhere over here? Over here. So here's where Primordus awakened, right? But we could say, like, we know that he moved, right? He moved from here and then he went, at some point he went down here, right? He was down here too, right? So he's moved at least that far, right? And then he went back to actually be defeated right over here. So, you know, he moves a lot. You could say that maybe, you know, we could have, for example, if we say, let's do a Guild Wars Nightfall Beyond, right? We do the Beyond thing in Guild Wars. We could say that maybe Primordus came down here, right? And maybe it caused like an earthquake, and that's why a lot of these things happen, right? The fields kind of died out, and everything is cliffy now. Everything has like all this. There's all this tectonic plate movement because he came down here or something, right? Like we could maybe explain it away that way. I picked him because he has the easiest. You know, we don't know where he was hanging out at, and he's also the earliest one to awaken. So he's had the longest time to move around underground and go wherever the heck he pleases. We don't know all the things he has done. It'd be really cool to get an underground expansion at some point and really see, like, you know, oh yeah, this is where Primordus like moved through or something. Like he like, you know, hung out in this like cave or something, and you can kind of see like in this hole is where he kind of came out of or something. I don't know. You know, it'd be really cool to see some of those things. Anyway, so let's go kind of behind. I want to do behind the. I'm going the wrong way. Behind the Great Hall. We'll do the Great Hall in a bit. I want to do this first. Kind of go back here. So yeah, so this is behind the Great Hall. If we look at it here in Guild Wars. Oh God, really? You wanna? Okay, well, you're dead. Should not be fine. None of these should be attacking me. Okay, they're all gonna die if they do that. We can see the Astrolarium. There's the Astrolarium right there, guys. We'll look at that as well. But yeah, this is behind the Great Hall here. As you guys can see, there is no gate. There is nothing here. And then we go to the water, right? We go to the water. There's no giant docks here. You know, we have a little island there. But yeah, so again, this has kind of changed a lot, right? One of the things that's kind of changed is we'd be looking right at it from here, and then if we turn around, you know, we go down to the water. Again, very cliff, right? There's a lot of like, it looks like a lot of like earth has moved. Just like maybe even you could even say maybe instead of saying, well, all this rose out of the ground, maybe you could say that he went underneath here and he created a giant hole underneath, and the whole thing kind of moved down. The whole part of that moved down. So pretty much the top of these caves is where we in Guild Wars 1 walk around on, but then everything has kind of just like been lowered down, and the you know, and it created like this, you know, this has been lowered into the ground, and this is now sticking up above the ground or something, right? We could say that too. So there's no docks here, as you guys can see. This would be where the docks are. You know, so you could, if we go with that theory of like, hey, he did that, right? You could say that maybe the caves are right in there right now, but they're not open because we're too high. And then this is this actually lowers down, and then that's where the caves would be, like right in there. So that kind of would explain some stuff. This would also explain, this would actually be a great explanation, because when you look at some of these things, it makes sense, right? So it's like, we're not just like necessarily explaining things away, but it does make sense, because when you look at this, right, everything looks like deeper too, right? Like the water has kind of gone, you know, when we go, like, we're kind of on the side. The Great Hall is over there. We go to the side, right, and there's a bridge over to the Astrolarium. So when we go to the side of the Great Hall, and the bridge would be right to our right, the bridge would be right over here. Do you see how high the water is here? There's no cliffs. We're not going down into a cliff, right? We're like right at the water's edge. Yeah, we go down a little bit. We're going down a tiny little bit. You know, there's a little drop, but it's not very far. You know, if you compared to that and how far this goes down, So we could even say that it dropped in 2 levels. So we had all the, or maybe, or not in 2 levels, but we could say that this dropped because of Primordus coming and doing his thing underneath, and part of the island dropped down. But it also maybe like created, maybe like on the sides here or something, created these caves where some of the water is, or like some of the water that's in here, or maybe or something, gets drained into into like some underwater caverns or something like that, right? And that's why not enough water can like flow into it here, because they've built all of this. So this is almost like the docks almost function like a dam in a sense or something, and not a lot of water can like flow into this part right here. So this is why there's like just less water now, right? Than there would be before, right? Not that this is very deep, but I'm saying like it just, if we're trying to kind of explain why there's all of a sudden a giant ravine and you have to take a bridge to get to the astrolarium on the other side, in Guild Wars 2, like, we're looking at the same thing here, and it's like, yeah, the astrolarium is over there, but it's like, look at how far down that goes, right? It wasn't like that. We have an island. We even have an island here, right? When we look, we have an island here. We have that same. We have we have an island there as well, right? Like you could say, oh, there's an island here, right, as well. So they do align in some way. What? Who's shooting me? Stop it! Everything wants to kill me. I'm just here on a diplomatic mission, okay? I do not mean anyone any harm. So, anyways, so let's make our way around and go, towards the Great Hall. We're gonna go into the Great Hall. So we're going across the. I'm gonna go this way actually. We're gonna go across the side of the plains of Jaren, in the Ladok Craterland. So this is where I think Joko fought the. That's one of the locations where Joko fought the Sun Spears, I think is what the whole story there is. So that's what this is. This is where Joko the Awakened attacked a bunch of the Sun Spears. So that's what's, he uses tar magic. He's a tar mage, dude. I'm telling you. That would make, see, ArenaNet has, with the way that the game works, the combat works, and the lore and stuff, there's some really cool stuff that they could create, right? Like we have like the Scourge kind of takes the sand aspect a little bit of like Elona and stuff, and it kind of, we have Sand Shroud, and we have the what is that called? The bar that we have, Necromancer. I can't think of it. The whatever, right? It's like yellow, and then the like the little. Oh my god, I can't even think of any of the names of the things. The little pillars that we can summon, whatever they're called, too. I don't know any of these names. I don't know why I'm blanking on everything right now. But all of that is like sand themed, right? So that's kind of like the Elona. But the thing is that like, and the name Scourge, I guess, also derives a little bit from Palawa Joko, because Palawa Joko is called the Scourge of Vabi, I think, right? Scourge of Elona. He was Scourge of something. Palawa Joko was the Scourge of something, right? So that's kind of where that comes from as well. But if we were to actually take the influence of Palawa Joko, we would actually make a tar mage, and that would be really cool. I don't know if that would be a necromancer, right? If we were to take that and do that, but I guess, because he is a lich, so it could be another specialization, and we could make like almost like maybe other minions or something, because he can create the Awakened, right? So but it's all like tar themed, so it'd be kind of cool to see. Oh, one of the meteor dropped down there. It would be kind of cool to explore that side of it as well. Or if you didn't want to do Necromancer, remember guys, we can always channel people from the mists with the Revenant. So you could have a Revenant Palawa Joko legend that uses like tar magic and stuff. Random thought. I'm excited for Tuesday. I'm just very excited to see what we're gonna get Tuesday. Oh, sorry guys, this keeps happening. I don't know why this keeps happening. All right, so we're moving up. These would be the tar fields here. We have some mandragores. Worst enemy. I hate that the sound effects are so loud. God, it's so loud when they scream. Like, please stop it. Right in my ear hole. Holy crap. I don't need to collect any of this money. It's like barely even anything. Yeah, and we move around. It looks really cute in Guild Wars 1. Again, we have the little fountain thingies. The little fountain thingies. We don't have that in Guild Wars 2, unfortunately, because Palawa Joko is more of a pragmatist who needs this when you can just have a wall, right? So we have a wall. All right, let's go into the Great Hall, guys. We're gonna explore that little area of the world. And then we're gonna come back out, and we're gonna kind of do the rest of the Plains of Jaren, and from there we're gonna go to either of these. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And you know, by the time that we get to doing these and this part, and then we only have Fariner left, and we do that, then we're kind of done with Istan. Right, that's all we get in Guild Wars 2, unfortunately. But I will kind of show off some of the other, as you guys can see, the Zelon Reach. Wait a minute, did I? Hold on. Oh, I did. I was gonna say I've explored like every corner of it. Did I? So, for those of you that don't know, you can guys you see some symbols on here, and none of this means anything to you guys, right? But it's kind of cool that we're getting all of the different symbols here. So in Guild Wars 1. We have something that's called hard mode, right? Which actually means that the enemies are harder. They have like better skills. They have better AI, more health, like all these things, right? And it's kind of like a challenge mode, right? It's kind of like, and you can activate it like everywhere. Every area that you can go to, you can be in hard. You can do hard mode once you reach level 20. Now, there is a thing where you can get different achievements, so to say. In Guild Wars 1, they're called titles, but they're kind of the same thing, where you go around and, because this is like, Guild Wars 1 is an instance game, right? So you have different instances, and there's a set amount of enemies in an instance. So you can go around and you can kill every enemy in an instance and not have anyone in that whole instance anymore, right? No enemies. Now, if you do that in hard mode, which is kind of tough in some areas, you get a shiny little golden thing, right? And if you get in a whole region, you get all of them. And as you guys can see, I have not done a good job here. I've done the Sunwood Marches. I haven't really. I don't like doing that. It's not. I don't know. I'm not a fan of. It's called vanquishing. I'm not a fan of vanquishing. So I haven't really done it. I've done a couple of them when they were like dailies, because there's dailies in Guild Wars 1, and once in a while, if there's a daily and I'm like, I feel like it, I might sit down and do a daily vanquish, if it's an area I haven't done before. So I think that's where Sunward Marches and Zelon Reach actually came from. Yatendi Canyons, 100%. I would have never. I'm not a fan of that region. So that's definitely was a daily. But yeah, so anyways, you can do that. So once you have done a region, you get the gold helmet, and the region you haven't done still has a red one. Same with missions. So a mission that you haven't done in hard mode will have a red, and one that you have completed in hard mode will have here. And then based on, you know, certain objectives that you have done, if you have done all the objectives, you'll get different swords behind that and stuff. Yeah, so you get these symbols here. This is symbolizing like the big thing is like this is a capital, right? So if we go over here, the Sunsphere Sanctuary is here, which would be the capital of Korna for us in Guild Wars 1. Then in Vabi we have the Kodash Bazaar, and then in the Desolation we don't actually get one. I guess we don't get one. I thought we did have one, but I guess not. So anyway, so that's kind of what these symbols are, and then these are regular outposts here that you can see. Let's actually, we didn't read earlier, but let's kind of read about the different areas here. So Chabek Village. So this was the area right out here. Sorry guys, I didn't do that. I always forget about reading. I always forget that we have this, and I miss it so much. And like, please, ArenaNet, you've had it. You had it, and then you took it out, and I don't know why. So for those of you that don't know, for the longest time in Guild Wars 2, I'm getting attacked. The caravan had to go precisely exactly underneath where I was. Just revive. Revive me, little fat dragon. Fat dragon baby. I like to think that that little dragon... Okay, and this is just my headcanon. Where is he? That little dragon right here. Oh, that's right, he floats in from the left. Hello! So I'd like to think that he is Oreen's son. This is Oreen's fat son, okay? It's my headcanon that I've built. I don't care if you agree with... Where did he go? Can you... He's like mischievous. Hello. Doesn't he kind of look a little bit like Oreen did when she was a baby, just fat? He's Oreen's fat son. Anyway, done with that. I don't even know why I mentioned that. Anyways, let's read about Chabek Village. The small village at the northeastern tip of Istan. I mean, is that really northeastern tip? I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess. Has a dual purpose. Located near Churhir Fields, the training grounds for Sunspear recruits, Chabek stocks make an excellent meeting place for new Sunspears. Also, the bluffs around the village provide a good vantage point to watch for Corsair raids headed for the islands. As a result, Chabek is often the first community targeted by such attacks, and that is what happens in that village. You can actually see the boats on the world map, but the Corsairs are attacking with 2 boats that you have to destroy during the mission, and you have to kill their leader, and that's kind of the end of the mission. It's not a very hard mission, but yeah, so we have that. Commandant is the home port for the mighty Istan Navy, and the main point of landfall for ships from nearby Korna, as well as those traveling from Cantha, Tyria, and the Battle Isles. Its deep harbor is sheltered from seasonal storms by a ridge of hills to the south, built around relics and statues from the days of the primeval kings. Commandant has earned the title Jewel of Istan. Okay, we have that. We have the Dark Sea Stocks located behind the imposing consulate building at the northern end of Commandant are used solely for official government business. They can only be accessed through the consulate and then only with written approval. Elders traveling to the Elonian mainland, as well as ambassadors from Korna and Vavi, depart from here bypassing the chaos of the common docks, which are used for trade and vessels. Okay, so we kind of read about those things. Yeah, so we looked at those things earlier. So Sunspear Great Hall, one of the oldest standing structures on the Istani Isles. The Sunspear Great Hall dates back to the time of Sogalan the Protector, who turned the Sunspears into an independent order devoted to the protection of all Ilona. The twin magical fountains are a tribute to the Sunspear's primeval roots, while the Great Hall stands as a memorial to the many generations of heroes forged within its walls. And then Joko comes and destroys it all. So the twin fountains meaning this side and that side, right? When we look at it, there's a fountain on one side and there's a fountain on the other side, which Joko is like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of those. But anyway, so we're in the hall here. Let's go into the hall. Can I? This is gonna be tough, isn't it? I'm just gonna have to fly above, and we'll have to kind of just look at it. So, again, in Guild Wars 2, we're not able to actually go inside of, or in Guild Wars 1, we're not able to go inside of buildings. Okay. So, anyway, we have the stairs right here. Okay. The stairs in the middle would be right here, the same stairs. Again, they don't align perfectly, but you can kind of see the same thing, right? You can kind of see this structure right here that leads to 2 separate doors. That is the same in Guild Wars 2. There's this little thing that comes down from the statue. Again, the statue has been replaced with Joko. It was a Sunspear, again, another Sunspear statue before, replaced with Palava Joko in Guild Wars 2. but it leads to the doors that we cannot go inside. And it's kind of cool because you can kind of see up in there, right? You can kind of see the pillars and stuff with the different window. I guess these are windows, not doors. They look kind of doorish, but they're windows. And then in Guild Wars 2, you can actually go inside of exactly where that would be, right? And you can go right inside of the pillars here, right? And you have the fountains. Um, oh, there's little statues of Joko. I've never noticed these before. They're so cute. Right. Anyways, but yeah, so we're kind of like standing right on where the pillars are. You know, the plaza right on the side. They also still have tents here in Guild Wars 2, which is kind of cool to think about, right? So, I can't get out. Please let me out. Right? So there's tents here still. Ugh. I gotta evade the attacks. Hold on, guys. So there's tents right there. So we're looking at the same kind of area for the tents. Would be right there. You know, this is where we'd be walking back to Hamadan, Palawadan, whatever, right? Going further that way, more tents. Just a bunch of, you know, whatever. I mean, there's like, you know, this is the main headquarters of the Sun Spears. So there's a bunch of Sun Spears walking around. There's a bunch of Istani people, merchants, that type of stuff, hanging out. What is that? It's like an urn or a vase. Yeah, and then and it's really cool because we get these giant spears and shields. I think all of these are available in the game, because these look like just regular sun spears. If they're not available in Guild Wars 1, they are definitely available in Guild Wars 2, which makes the whole thing even cooler. Because I don't know, again, we're going to be playing a Paragon, so we're going to see different spears. I think they are available in Guild Wars 1, these spears. I'm trying to just give you guys a good look at them. Obviously they're not super high detailed because they're just part of the decoration. I'm trying to look at this one in particular, but you guys can kind of see them. Like I said, we do have these available. Yeah, let me just equip this. I know it's right in front of my face, isn't it? Oh, is it in front of my face? Where is it? We have this one here. It's kind of just a staff, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this. We have this one, and then we have the actual sun spear, right? And when you look at this, and when you look at this one, right? So Rina did a really good job. When you look at those, right? Like that looks really like perfectly carried over. You know, we have these actual sun spears. Like I said, I think these are actual skins in Guild Wars. I'm sorry, in Guild Wars 1. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. And then we get the Sun Spear Standard, which is just a staff version of that kind of thing. But it's kind of cool to have. I really like using spears. Like I've showed it off before, but I have a character. He's designed like a dragoon from Final Fantasy, and he's a Vindicator. So anytime, you know, because the whole idea of dragoons is that they jump into the air and crash down, right? And they like attack, like they jump up and they attack from the air. And it's kind of cool to be able to use spears and do that in Guild Wars 2 with the Vindicator. Because it's just, I don't know, I just really like, for the flavor of that fantasy like class, that's really cool and it works really well. So highly recommended to anyone that is interested in that. But anyways, so yeah, and that's pretty much it, right? We can go inside of the hall in Guild Wars 1. I'm not gonna bother with it because I don't think during the meta you can go inside. I'm sorry, I'm not helping the meta. I apologize to the commander and all the people that are there. It's interesting to still see people running this though, because it's not even like the daily is Thunderhead Peaks, so it's not even that they're like, oh, you should be doing your daily here, right? So, but yeah. So anyways, we can kind of. The Guild Wars 1, obviously we don't have any mounts, but we can kind of look up. It's cool to see like the the trees and stuff that grew on top. This is like an ancient monument. You gotta imagine, like, if this is left from the time of the dynasty, I think it's like a couple of thousand of years or something since it's been the dynasty area of Elona, something like that. I'm not sure exactly on the dates on that, but you know, in Guild Wars 2 we don't have those. We can go up there and there's no actual like trees and stuff, but yeah, in Guild Wars 1 you can kind of see those there. Oh my god. This is just laser beams from the sky. But yeah, there you go. That's the Great Hall of the Sun Spears, or the Great Hall of the Morden Crescent. And we shall leave, and we shall leave these folks alone too. Sorry that we're not helping. I apologize. I had someone... Oh, I did talk about that. I was streaming the other day, and I had someone at World vs. World, like, hey, join in comms. I'm like, no. I'm streaming right now. Now I gotta walk around with the staff. I don't really care, but... Anyway, so we're going south. We can kind of try to see, like I said, we can kind of maybe try to see what's at the edge of this. There's also something really cool over here. So you guys will kind of see on the map. Do you see how there's like these brown areas over here? I think there's like some kind of lore thing to that. I think there's a... I could be completely wrong on this. I'm not 100% certain. Why are we dying? Why am I dying? Oh my god, I put on hard mode. Like, why am I dying to level 4s? They're like 23. I'm like, wait, why am I dying? It's like, this should not even, like, we shouldn't even break a sweat. Are you kidding? Oh my god, that is so funny. I'm like, wow, they're really strong for level 4s. Like, or level 6. I thought they were level 4. I don't know, whatever, but... that was really... Because I'm like, we should be destroying them in like 3 seconds. They should not be an issue for us. So anyways, I'm trying to get to the brown area of the ground there. So you can kind of see it on the world map. You can see the like... all the like... Ooh, the brown, right? It's like, oh, what's going on? And we have Sune, the Sune Stormbringer. Sune? And I gotta look up. I want to see if I'm correct. No, I guess it's not. I guess not. I thought there was some kind of lore, and I could be wrong. Do not take this at all as like 100%. But I thought there was some kind of lore somewhere that these jacaranda are actually kind of... I think this might be like when you... I think... Oh, we might look into this more as we do the playthrough of Nightfall. But I think there's talk about how the jacaranda are... Why, you know, why are we not just like leaving them alone? Well, they're apparently like sucking out the nutrients out of the ground, right? Because they're like plant trees and they're kind of just, I guess they're like destroying. So it's really interesting because you have this like brown area on the ground, right? Where like it looks like very destroyed, and it's, you know, maybe there was water here at some point. And you have actually a jacaranda boss with a bunch of jacarandas around it that is hanging out exactly right here. So I feel like that's like environmental storytelling in a way, that the boss of the jacaranda of this area, you know, they're just kind of, as you can see, they're circling around him, right? But that's not the only thing. That's not the only thing that's really, really cool about this boss. Okay, and because and actually I can probably just go back to the link, and I'm gonna show you guys this. So I hope that it's there. and you guys might already see it right there. That is actually, so the same guy that we have in Guild Wars 1, right there, Sune Stormbringer, he's actually a bounty in Guild Wars 2, and he is a Jacaranda. You can actually go in. I'm not gonna summon him now because that's kind of, I feel like it's kind of fucked up if I'm gonna summon him and then just leave him. I'm gonna swap my weapon. But yeah, they actually took him. They brought him back, and you know, he is a champion bounty, and he's a Jacaranda boss, and that's might be exactly him. Yeah, so they don't give any specific, like, is that the same one? Is it is it just like, has it revived? Did it survive during Guild Wars 1 times? Like, we don't know, right? But it's just kind of cool that we have a callback to this character, to this enemy. Obviously, this enemy right here, right now, is super weak. It's an elementalist. I don't know what skills it uses in Guild Wars 2. It uses lightning magic, which is, the Jacarandas kind of do that. Even in Guild Wars 2, the pet Jacarandas and stuff, they use like lightning abilities, right? So that's kind of where that comes from. I don't think it has force for wind attacks, it says. So it uses Gale Force, Winds, and Lightning Strike in Guild Wars 2 as abilities. So it's kind of cool to see that. Always fun to have callbacks like that. Are there other callbacks? That would be interesting to know, actually. Because I knew about that boss, but I don't know if there's any other ones. Let's have a look-see here. Let's see what bosses we have. We do not. So in this particular region, it is the only boss. I'm sorry guys, I'm just looking for names that are carried over in some shape or another. Some form or another. No, I think that's it. So that is one reference that we kind of have with the cool guy here. Let's see if we can go down to the area, and I'm just gonna kind of walk there. I'm gonna go to the area where in Guild Wars 2 there would be I talked about the like weird ancient royal no, I'm sorry. I don't even know who you are. If anyone is doing some bounties, I'm not doing bounties. Sorry. I'm doing something way different than bounties. I apologize. I'm sorry, and I cannot help. And I feel bad when I do these. I'm like, I don't want to take a detour and just kind of focus on that. So I'm just gonna. Sorry. So, anyways, I guess we can fly over here. Let me go up, please. Ooh, I'm so glad they fixed that mastery. That lets you gain the thing. Why does that look different? Do you guys see that? I just noticed that earlier. Oh, it's one of the statues. I was like, why does that look different? It's one of those statues. We've talked about them, right? One of the big statues that we find in the Crystal Desert. Looks like there was one here at some point. I guess that would be like over there. Yeah, this would be the location, right? The Great Hall is up there. And we come down here. This is as far, I mean, you guys can kind of see, like, it ends over there, and there's no ancient entrance. Again, that's why I kind of feel like the water, like, yeah, I mean, I feel like the theory of the water is probably not, I think it's reverse. So instead of having water, not enough water, I really think this island has risen. It's come up, right? Because we have cliffs and stuff. Because even here, when you look at this in Guild Wars 2, like, look at how gigantic these cliffs are, right? We're like in the same general location right now. Look at how gigantic these freaking cliffs are. I mean, we're on the other side, actually. So I'm actually not directly where I should be. Let me go exactly where I should go. We can really, truly say. we're in the same location. Look at this, guys. Spears coming on land. It's happening. I'm excited. A lot of people, we've been asking for this for a very, very long time. Okay? I just want to be clear on that. I've been asking for this forever. I'm excited for Tuesday, guys. I can't even tell you. Anyways, so you can see how gigantic these cliffs are. Like, in Guild Wars 1 terms, or like in relation to where I mean, if you look, okay, I'm standing like right here in Guild Wars 1, okay? Like, I'm standing right on that. Look at how gigantic these cliffs are, right? So it would stand to reason that this island definitely has been, or like the whole thing, has been kind of pushed up. You know, everything has kind of been pushed up everywhere. And some areas just higher than others. I feel like that's probably what happened. So imagine Primordus comes through here and he's like, I have no room. I'm gonna push it up, right? With his big head, because his head is like this big, right? It's like gigantic. It's not that big, but it's like huge, right? So, and he pushes up underneath, specifically like right here, and then the rest kind of rises. And that's why this falls off, because, you know, it gets pushed up, and there was already like maybe like this happened maybe Palawa Joko made this so that it would save the island. He's using the tar to hold this piece to the mainland. We're making Palawa Joko a good guy. Remember, he didn't like the Elder Dragons, and he was just kind of like trying to, you know, he was trying to like save the world from us. Remember how we were like the bad guy in his whole monologue thing? So maybe this was happening, and he was like, oh crap, and he put the tar there to hold this piece from crashing completely down. And then they evacuated. And then they evacuated this town, and they all moved in here. And then he was like, I don't care about this. There you go. That's my new headcanon. I've created this. Comparison stream. Yes, welcome, Elvis. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, comparison stream. So, anyways, as you guys can see, these cliffs are gigantic. So, it would stand to reason that if we were to dive down into the water and we go like way down there or somewhere, there's like an ancient cave that has been flooded or something, and that was the ancient entrance. Obviously, it doesn't look anything like this in Guild Wars 2, but it makes me question why these cliffs are so high. And let's find an in-lore explanation as to why these cliffs are so high. And I feel like we found a good solution to it, right? I feel like we found a good explanation as to why this is the way it is, right? And it kind of looks like that. So, anyways, so we're gonna kind of walk around. And I think I'm gonna go to Istan. It's just closer by. I'll just walk there so we can kind of experience a little bit of the area still. But yeah, welcome everyone. I hope you guys are having a good time. I hope you guys are enjoying these streams, and I hope you guys will join me. I know that, you know, everyone and their grandma's gonna be streaming on Tuesdays, so I'm probably like bottom of the list of people that you want to watch. But if you feel so inclined to come hang out, I will be streaming on Tuesday. Whether I don't think they're streaming, if it was a stream, then we would have already gotten the information on that, I think. So it's going to be a blog post. I'm going to be streaming the blog post with you guys. We're going to read through everything. We're kind of we're going to look at all the information. We're going to speculate, right? My big thing is going to be lore. It's going to be locations. It's going to be I have some fun stuff I want to talk to you guys about tomorrow that is going to be specifically about what I've talked about with the little teaser. There's something that I've noticed, and I was completely and utterly wrong, and I'm really ashamed of what I talked about the houses that were in the video, and I was just like way off on it. But I did touch on something where I'm like, huh, is ArenaNet showing us something? Like, I'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll show you guys tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't want to ruin the comparison stream, but just so you guys know, I have another theory on, or I'm going further with the theory that I had about those houses. I still feel like there's something significant about them, but anyways, so I mean, are you kidding? I'm so excited. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Janthier, hopefully. Underwater weapons. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited. Ah, yes, I'm really excited. And this is not okay. So I talked about this earlier. How some people have like fake reactions. This is not a fake reaction. I turn into a 5-year-old child whenever Arena does an announcement. I'm always like, I want it now. Why can't I have it now? That's me. Like for like, you know, like 2 months before we get the actual release of something because they announced it or something. It's like that's what I turn into, a child. All right, so we have Zelon Breach. We'll talk about that a little bit, but we have Champion's Dawn here. So we're gonna move into, like in Guild Wars 1, we're kind of doing this whole, we're going actually across the water, moving into Champion's Dawn, which is a little outpost. Ugh, flipping the camera again. Sorry about that. Are you excited? Who's excited for the expansion? Are you guys excited to get underwater weapons? God, we've been asking for it for so long. Is anyone hoping for long range javelin type of spears? I am. I'm very hoping for that. That was not a sentence, but that's okay. Anyways, so as you guys can see, we're crossing the water and we're going into what is Champion's Dawn, right? We can't go to this pocket over here of land, which would be this pocket right here. This is the Field of the Hopeful. This is the little crypts. I think this is they have the it's like a graveyard or something. We'll look at it. I want to see everything. New area, story, weapons too, and the big thing they tease, whether it's raid or housing or whatever. I know there's been so many theories, right? There's been so many theories on what it could be because, and it's really strange because they specifically said something that we've been asking for 5 years. And I'm just like, why did they put a specific number on that, right? Like, that's what's kind of weird. I'm like, why did you, like, you know, I feel like in a teaser or in a way that you're like, you would be like, something the player base has been asking for a long time. You keep it general. Why 5 years specifically, right? And I think that's why, I don't know, because a lot of people were talking about raids, and it was me as well, where I was just like, yeah, I think it's raids. Like, we're getting back with raiding, right? But then people were pointing out, like, because then we got the interview, and then in the interview or something, right? Didn't he talk about, like, it's like a new way of interacting with existing systems and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that doesn't really sound like raiding, unless they're doing a raid, but they're doing it differently or something. They're like redesigning this new raid or something. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm here for it, guys. I am here for it. All right, we're going into Champion's Dawn. So, anyways, we just crossed over into this little. I really like some of these Istani villages in Guild Wars 1. They're really cool, right? We got this like rando statue over here of this guy carrying something, right? He's wearing a big hat, and he has a spear next to him. So again, I think this is like what this symbolizes. Again, I can do Guild Wars 1 or Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1, Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1. Okay, this is kind of really funky that does that. So does this symbolize like this is the sun spear? And he like carries the world on his like because this doesn't look like just a random rock, right? So is this supposed to like represent the world? And they're like, we're carrying the world on our shoulders or something. Is that what it's supposed to represent? I don't know. Changes is very interesting indeed. Seems like there's two different things teased at the same time. That's what it feels like, right? It really feels like we'll have to really see on Tuesday. I'm gonna be very curious to see exactly what we're gonna get, what we're gonna see. Yeah, I mean it's very interesting. Like it's all very vague and like nondescript. Oh my god, I'm trying to play 2 games at the same time and talk, and literally by trying to do all of the things, none of the things are happening. Which is just like, you can see it all over. Like, the camera is all over the place. Everything is all over the place. All right, anyway, so we're going to into Champion's Dawn, right? And this is the area that I remember very vividly. you know, we were going into season 4 after Path of Fire, which was a very exciting time during Guild Wars 2, right? And I remember that they showed this off, right? They showed off this building right here with the cells and stuff where like they keep their prisoners and stuff, and it's very like, ooh, it's very morbid, right? It's kind of weird. So let's look at the map a little bit and kind of figure out exactly where we are. Yeah, so I had a little bit of a theory during the map stream, but I think because when we look at the map and when we say this pocket right here is this over here, which, right, that would perfectly align right there. That would mean that right where we are right now is the center of Champions Dawn. Okay, so right we're so right where I am in Guild Wars 2 is pretty much where I am in Guild Wars 1. And we can kind of look around a little bit. Atlas vibes? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes, yes. Oh my god, I totally didn't even think about that. That statue, right, of the yeah, I know what you're talking about. Is that statue of the guy carrying the globe. That's definitely, like, yes, I know what you're talking about. I probably am not articulating that properly, but anyways. So that makes me kind of think that because we have some buildings around here and so on, right? Like, again, we talk about how the whole island was like either lifted up or lowered down by like tectonic activity or primordius or whatever, right? I've been kind of making that point the whole time. But if you look again, the water is super high up. It's not that high up, right? If we talk about this being the regular walking field down here, but I think that perhaps this right here is that. Right? Are we looking at like, because that's right in the middle. Again, that's right in the middle of Champion's Dawn. Right there, you know. What, like I said, when we take this and we go northwest of it, right? We take this. Oh, northwest would actually be up here. It'd be right where we entered. So it's not exactly perfect. What would be south of here? Because it would be right to the side of it. Maybe it doesn't align perfectly. What is to the south of it? Well, we could say this, right? But that's on here. That's not at all available. It would be right here. What is there? There's nothing there. You guys hear my cat? She's been so annoying all day long. Oh my god, she's been meowing like get a job or something. Holy crap. It's like I fed her, I gave her water, and then I fed her again. And I'm like, I'm not giving you more food. You're gonna be rolling up and down the stairs. Yeah, so I don't know. It doesn't perfectly align, but I would like to still think that that is that same structure, right? Because if we're looking for something, you know, this is like kind of, you know, just the top part. If we talk about, okay, maybe parts of the island have dropped and other parts have risen, right? It could be parts of both, right? I talked about like, oh, maybe it rose, maybe it got lowered, maybe right? Maybe it's parts of everything because Primordus moved underneath, right? That's kind of my going theory. And you say, okay, well, this is what was revealed in Guild Wars 1, right? It looks, I mean, you could kind of see that, right? You can kind of see that being the case there. You know, and they kind of carved out more as the tectonic activity happened with Primordus and stuff. You can definitely see that. So, but that's it for Champion's Dawn. That's the unfortunate part. There's not really, again, Istan has some areas that are very like, oh, okay, cool, you know, like Palawadon and da-da-da, whatever. There's hair on my screen. I'm like, is that a crack on my screen? No, it's just the hair. One of my own hairs. It was a short little hair. So anyways, yeah, and then once you leave, right, we have the Zellan Breach here, which we have the Zellan Reach, right? Do you guys see? Like, so they kind of named one area. And I call it the breach because this is where the water is, right? But you can see also on the Guild Wars 2 map, it's supposed to be that area right there. Because as you can see in Guild Wars 1, there's a lot of water here. There's a lot of water up here, right? South of that, it's unfortunate. Right down here is the quarry, and that we have in Guild Wars 1. We don't actually get to see that, unfortunately, right? And then you get the island part here. I will be exploring those with you guys. I will just kind of do a walkthrough with you guys after a while at the end of this stream. Like I said, after we have done all of the Elona regions, we're going to be doing a playthrough of Nightfall, so get ready for that. I still got to get into Fairner at some point soon. But yeah, so anyways, so let's go south and let's go to the cave. Let's see if we can kind of locate the cave. Again, it goes way down the cliffs. I kind of like this path. It's kind of cool because if you actually like walk it, it feels kind of scenic. It's almost like a scenic route because you have a river flowing underneath you, and you're kind of just like walking down along the cliffs, right? So if we were to do the same thing in Guild Wars 1, oh my god, it swapped me around. I always get so confused when that happens. Yeah, so it's unfortunate because it would be right at the tip here, right? We can't actually go there. We can see there is a statue right over there. I could probably loop around. I'm gonna go to this area over here, and then we can from there we can kind of like look across. I can only draw on this map, unfortunately, in Guild Wars 1. But we can kind of look across and we can kind of see down there. It looks kind of weird, right? So it looks like, okay, I have to walk all the way around. Got it. Okay. Because that monument doesn't exist here, right? The monument would be down here. Probably was destroyed or something. Down to that cave that causes that. Oops, I walked way too far. Again, trying to play 2 games at the same time. Sorry, guys. Some of the stuff is kind of funky. Beckner Harbor. So that way that lets us kind of look across to where the cave would be, right? Because in Guild Wars 1, we're like over here right now. We're kind of like walking right towards that bridge that leads further down. So we're coming down right over here right now and walking down. Obviously slow. I should have had a speed person. I just realized I guess I could have put a speed person on. I love Ogden in that outfit. Do you guys see that outfit? He's wearing a Brotherhood vestments. They look really cool on him. Alright, so that's Beckner Harbor. Right there, you can kind of see it. Looks cool. I've zoomed out as far as I can. Oh, that'll be good. That'll be a good vantage point right down there. Yep, so you can kind of see we have one of those monuments there, and that's where the sea cave would be. Obviously, this is all destroyed. The cliffs are much higher. We don't have any of that, but it's kind of cool to think that where that monument is would be a cave. So you could maybe think of it like, 250 years ago, maybe this was like, or 2,000 years ago, whenever the dynasty, right? The dynasty was like one of the big areas or big eras of Ilona, where they were thriving and they were like, these people were like powerful and rich and stuff, and it ended with like the Scarab Plague, right? So that's what it kind of completely crippled all of Ilona, completely destroyed all of these things, and they had to kind of rebuild from there, right? But it was this huge empire that they had during the dynasty era, right? And that's when all these big monuments were built back in those days. So you could maybe say that maybe at the time back then, maybe the island was a little bit higher or the sea level was a little bit lower or something, and this is an old crypt. And this old crypt led into this cave. But then after many, many thousands of years, like, you know, after the dynasty era, no one used it anymore. It was forgotten about. You know, one of the things lost to time, kind of, and eventually, Palawa Joko used it as a prison for Kos, like many thousands, hundreds of years, thousands of years later, right? Like, you know, there's not much in that cave that we can really see. Um, but yeah, I mean, we could potentially say, I guess because I'm not part of the grotto of the defeated. I guess can I do? I have done this, so I could replay this mission, and it would let me in here, right? So we can look into the cave of the Sun Spear Champion. I don't care. I know it's my staff. I don't. Driving me not with your shit. Equip that bow that you had earlier. Good job. All right, let me in, please. So we have Kos here, right? Shadowy figure. Do you guys want to see Kos compared in Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2? But yeah, anyway, so we can kind of see, perhaps that's what it was, right? Perhaps that's what kind of happened there, because it's right in that location where the cave would be. Cave is right on that tip there. And unfortunately, we don't really get to see any of the other stuff on this side, because these are some really cool, there's some really cool things and really cool regions over there that we don't get to see, which is kind of a shame. Maybe at some point, right? Maybe at some point we'll get a mini expansion that'll explore more of Istan. I would love to know more about this temple down here. They have this Temple of Storms or something is what it's called, or some weird stuff. Um, uh, you know, and we kind of, they talk about how it's sunk into the ocean and stuff. It would be kind of cool to maybe 250 years later, like, go and it's now completely sunk into the ocean. It's like an under the ocean, underwater like temple, and we have to explore it or something, and like a I don't know whatever the story would be of that or whatever. So but yeah, so while we're waiting for Kos to finish with this whatever he's doing, we're gonna kind of walk towards the Astralarium in Guild Wars 1. I'm gonna try to defeat Kos as at the same time, which is just bad. Okay. Boss, please. Hold on, let me just keep walking. No! Sorry guys. I accidentally pressed my screenshot button, and so my computer wanted to take a screenshot. Okay, I'm not even trying. I'm just auto attacking and he's like dying. Like, how are you dying? Come on. It's a shoe. Okay. Wait. Why can't I? Oh my god, I have to go around. Seriously? Wait. Oh, I'm in the wrong... Oh, you can't actually travel. Oh, this is not a travelable area. Oh my god, I'm so confused. I'm so used to like Guild Wars 2's open concept that like I completely got thrown off. So you can't actually, this area right here is not traversable. Right? So like I can go up here. Yeah, I can go, I think up here is like the farthest. That's where I just was. And that's as far as it'll go. It won't actually let me go just north to the Astralarium. So I'm gonna take the walk, and we're gonna go, you know, because we don't have that much more to see. So you know, whatever. But actually, before we do that, let's go back. Let's kick one of these guys, and let's bring Kos into the area, into the group here. So we have Kos here. Crippling slash. What is this random crap that I have on him? Is he using a sword? Sword and shield? Oh my god, he has some random crap. He's not gonna be good, but that's okay because we're gonna just use him right now. We're gonna use him, and we're gonna just I don't want him to be completely weak. Oh, you know what? I don't need tactics. Let's get rid of tactics. Even though his shield needs tactics, but that's fine. And swordsman. Okay, fine. Whatever. Get rid of that. that. I'm just gonna make really random stuff, guys. I'm just looking for speed. Is it motivation? No. Command. That is. That is. Command. We're doing fallback. Oh, maybe I should do incoming. And then motivation. I don't know. I'm just trying to get. Guys, I don't know. Stand your ground. I don't want anything. I want something that's. Okay, this is stupid. Give me something that doesn't. That's. Sun and Moon Slash. There we go. Whatever. This is not a functioning build. I'm just putting something together that gives me speed boost and have costs in the group with me. Okay? So don't think that I'm really good at build crafting right now because this is a garbage build, but whatever. He's not even level 20. Okay? He's not even max level. But here's cost for you. Guild Wars 1. It's kind of cool because they have the scar on his face, which I guess we can. I guess you can't really know. Stop cost moving. Stop. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. So he kind of has the same armor, right? He has that Sun Spear emblem on that armor. It's unfortunate, right? Because this is a cool armor that he's wielding. But I don't think this armor is like, none of those pieces are available. It would have been kind of cool to have that armor available. But yeah, they literally took his armor from Guild Wars 1 and gave it to him in Guild Wars 2. I think it's like more rusty now. It's like more of a brownish tone or whatever to it. But he's still sword and shield. Moldy old book. Cost on cost extended. Release a walking corpse. Sentries are meant to send reinforcement to help secure the border. But Arner's after the Battle of Candera. Melania continues to hassle me. Says I've brawled enough. Not Lonai. Yeah, that's our little preview into like Lonai that we have to like defeat or whatever at the end of that episode. But yeah, anyways, so because this looks like a crypt, right? So this looks like the whole point of me doing that was that this has like a crypt. This is not just like, oh, whatever, right? But this is comparable to how like the Ascalonian catacombs would be, right? So obviously people were buried here at some point, you know? So to think that maybe that monument was supposed to be for that, to kind of indicate that, hey, you know, there's an ancient crypt here or something like that, right? That's not too far-fetched to think, to think about. So, all right. So we're gonna kind of venture north along this other river. Actually, we're gonna you know what? To make that. Oops, sorry guys. I'm just trying to play two games at the same time, and it's becoming a mess. So we go up the river, right? In Guild Wars 2, we can do the same thing. We can go up the river. Obviously, this is like not even knee deep, right? This is literally just like this tiny little, I mean, splish splash, you can run around in it kind of thing. So, nothing crazy there. All right, come on, you guys. Why are we fighting? Just kill them. They're level 6. All right, come on. Oh, having speed boost is kind of nice. But yeah, so we're kind of going up the same river here. We're slowly going up here. We're doing the same thing. Oh my god, is the race really happening right now? Why does the race need to happen right when I do this? I guess we're flying. Screw walking. Or swimming on my... riding on my dude. Riding on my skimmer. So we're going along the river here. Slowly making our way to the Astralarium. We're gonna look Astralarium. I don't think, again, there's nothing really comparable. It makes sense. Again, I think, you know, to kind of maybe explain that as well. I kind of wanted to show you guys the river as we like walked up here. So nothing crazy. I mean, it's very nondescript. Um, but that's the thing, right? Like when we think in terms of, okay, so we had like an almost like industrial revolution right after. It's like, yes, Joko was attacking, you know, after he kind of gathered his forces, but a lot of people, you know, a lot of things, you know, we've moved from, you know, being Lissa focused to being Cormia focused, and technology has kind of taken a turn. You know, they kind of build up the Astralarium. We do see some things, so you will kind of see a couple of things already. So we have these like sphere-like things, right? We kind of see these here as well, and I always love this outpost because it's always at night with the stars in the sky because it's the Astralarium, right? We have the this is the look at these glyphs. I guess he's reading them. I guess he's reading them. But that's Abaddon stuff right there. And we can't. Again, I showed you guys on the map thing. We can't really go inside of any of these buildings. You know, I did the map stream. The main building is right over there. There's the same statue from earlier. But this is it. Like, it's a really small outpost. We do have a gate that leads to that building there. And I don't think the main building is in the same location, I would say. Mirror of the Stars, Mirror of the Sun, I don't have the other one, Mirror of the Moon. And then we have the library down below. That's not areas that we can go to in Guild Wars 1, like, at all. Again, we can't go into any buildings. If we were able to go through this, through the store, you can kind of see there's a path that leads up to that big building. You can kind of see it a little bit on the thing. We looked at it on the map stream, so if you guys want to see that, just check out those map streams for Guild Wars 1 that I made, and you can kind of see some of that. But yeah, we do have the idea of mirrors. You know, there's a mirror here that's pointing like light into this bowl that has like probably celestial like whatevers on it. You know, we kind of get the same idea because we have telescopes and mirrors that we got to move around, right? There's the telescopic mirrors that we have to move around and do stuff with. And then obviously to the north is the library or whatever. What is up here again? Oh no, it's just like a thing. The library's on the far side, but yeah, we have this little whatever. You don't even need to come up here, only for the POI. Broken observation tower. Oh god, the lag. Jesus. What's going on? But yeah, and then you can go into that building and go underneath this whole area. So I really feel like that was one of the things that they maybe focused on when they rebuild a lot of Istan, and you know, as more money was coming in, perhaps was like building, you know, creating more, like working more on this, right? Because this looks kind of like, okay, you know, it's there, and you're just kind of like, okay, one mirror and like a couple of buildings you can't go into, and nothing. But then this is like, look at how huge this is, right? It's like, bam, it's this whole building with all these things built around it, and it's very intricate, and you know, and even the surrounding buildings. I mean, we have this. These are all part of the Astralarium, which is just really cool. So again, a much bigger scale in Guild Wars 2, which is really cool, right? It's like kind of getting the areas to, you know, to really expand on buildings and you know, that sort of stuff, which Guild Wars 1 had amazing environments, but you know, the interior and I think the buildings in particular are very lackluster, because we just can't explore them inside. Many people live in tents in a lot of different areas, even though like the Astralarium has been here probably for a very long time. Why are the tents here, you know? But it's again, it's influenced by the old by the African. You know, in Africa, this is like kind of how they do things. They have little tents out for their. Um, oh, there's food here, guys. Delicious things. Those look like beans. Delicious beans. Some carpets that are being sold. But yeah, so that's the Astralarium. There you guys go. Cool, right? I mean, again, there's not much to show off because it's just very, very different. But to kind of get, oh, look at that moon. Yeah, I talked about this. I did the short about the moon. That moon, when it becomes daytime, I think is just gonna lower down. So it doesn't actually, in certain maps, it's so weird. In certain maps, the moon is a text is part of the skybox. So when they switch from night to day, the skybox changes or something, I think, and then it just like shows something different. Like one that's very apparent. If you guys ever feel inclined, go to Keswick's Hills and go there during night. And I think this shows which maps they made early on and which maps they did later on. Because like I said, I think Keswick's Hills was one of the earlier maps. Because we have our little bird friends that are hanging out here that look very early development. There's like 3 of them. I think I think I got it right. I think there's one here, one somewhere around here, and then one down here. Very early development. Keswick's Hills was part of an early trailer and stuff. With the nighttime, I think they kind of as they pan around. I remember the trailer kind of shows this part right here, and it goes like right underneath this bridge or something, or something along those lines, right? It goes like somewhere along here is where the trailer goes. Obviously, this is before the tower fell right on this. This was just a green field. But it shows shows one of these birds that's hanging out, and I think as it goes, it transitions from day to night. Kind of like they were showcasing, oh, we have a day and night cycle in our game now, right? And I think that was one of the early maps. And the day and night is like really just strange there, you know, where it's just the skybox changes and it has just a different texture, and there's a moon there all of a sudden, right? And then on some maps you have it where literally at nighttime the moon will rise to a certain point in the sky, stay there, and then when it becomes daytime, it just lowers. It doesn't actually travel across the sky. I think there are some maps where the moon actually does it. So there's actually like 3 or 4 different ways that ArenaNet has done the day and night cycle in game, and it's very like, if you pay attention to it, it's very immersion breaking, because you're just like, that moon does not look like the same moon that I just saw at the last map I was at, right? So like, it's way bigger on these maps than it is on the Keswick's Hills. The Keswick's Hills ones is like 1/4 of the size. It's like this big as like this tiny little moon, and there's like a cloud in front of it or something. So anyways, just fun little fact there for you guys. And in Guild Wars 1, we once in a while do get it. This looks, I mean, there's a sun there, so it looks more like it's I'm guessing dusk, right? It looks more like this is dusk area, dusk time. So but it's kind of cool because when you look at it, right, the sun is pointing right at that mirror, and that mirror is like reflecting light, so it actually does work out pretty well there. So I'm kind of waiting to see. I don't know when the day and night cycle is gonna end, but I kind of want to just see what it looks like. So we'll just kind of showcase that maybe a little bit. So all right, so that's the areas that we can go to. Let's go to Fariner first. Let's do that first. And then we can go into we will do Fariner, and then I'm gonna just kind of do like a speed run through of just showing you guys some other areas available. Koss can leave us now. He does not need to come with us. I can put a full team of people up, so that'll be great. Are you my... Nope, you are not. So I guess... yeah. Fariner, the first city. So we're gonna go in... We're gonna have to kind of move a little bit. I think I have to go. How far do I have to go before I get to the? Yeah, I have to go a little bit. So we'll have to, because we're gonna actually come up here. That's where we're gonna enter the city. So I'm kind of doing so. But I'm entering from the south because I don't have that outpost there, which is fine. We'll just walk there. So I'll have to do a little bit of walking until we can get there. And then yeah, we can see that. So we're in Gilbert's 2, right? So I can do an event timer. Quarteria. Okay, End of Dragons has a different cycle. We have another 23 minutes. Well, it'll be like 20 minutes before the it'll change, which is unfortunate. I don't think it's gonna take me that long to get in there, but we're gonna just have to fight our way through. Yeah, I'm just outside here. The city is like over there, but we have to go all the way. We have to go around and go into that area, and I think everything like tries to fight me here, which is fine. I mean, it's whatever, you know. We're gonna just fight our way through real quick. These mesmers. I mean, this group. That's why I always do it. This was my main for a long time. For like the once Guild Wars 2 came out, I had remade this guy, or I had created this guy, and he's been my main since. So he wasn't my main. I have another Mesmer actually. She was my main for a long time before Guild Wars 2 came out. She was my main in Guild Wars 1 for a long time. But I've swapped mains. Oh, look at that random butterfly. Move your wing again. There you go. Or wings. Jacaranda and a boga. Okay, we're rubber banding. Knock on wood, I'm not losing any frames. And they died. Yeah, unfortunately there's no path to just go straight up along here. It kind of ends over there and I can't actually like connect, so I had to go across the bridge. Yeah, I had to go across the first bridge and then the second bridge, actually getting a zigzag around. Like I said, in Guild Wars 1 they did that a lot to kind of get more use out of an area, which is kind of cool because it's kind of immersive that way. You know, rather than just like flying across a mountain, I have to actually walk the mountain path. And I like that. That's very immersive to me. Alright, so I think we're here where I need to be. Is that correct? I think so. I think we're in the same area. Okay. Anyways, we're not going to see this, the moon. If you guys just go in game and check it out if you guys want to see it. I am going to... Why can't I? Oh, I can. I just... I'm super far away. I don't know why I didn't move there first. I just realized. Sorry, guys. Let's venture. Bloop. And I hope you guys are excited for the Nightfall playthrough. I am. I'm just really looking forward to it. I'm excited to see... you know, it's gonna be interesting to see if there, for the new expansion, right? I always look at like lore stuff, right? I look at the lore, I look at like the world, the areas that we're going to, right? And we're going to Janthier, which is one of those things that like we didn't really like. There's not that much I feel like that we can connect to Guild Wars 2, just because there's really nothing that we know about Janthier. And those areas, right? So it's gonna be really interesting to see, because like the last two expansions I haven't been able to actually do a comparison stream for, because, well, you know, well, the last two expansions, I mean this coming expansion and then this last expansion, because it was all areas of the world we have never been to. And I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing, where it's going to be like, well, we're going to an area that is like new to like Guild Wars in general, and there's not going to be that much to talk about for Guild Wars 2. Yeah, okay, yeah, I want to do the first part. All right, so we're going into the first City Fariner. So I think in Guild Wars 2 we start down below. Is that correct? I want to make my way through. We're gonna kind of see for a second here. Who comes on that journey with us? There's people here with us, right? I guess not. We're alone. Alright, sorry guys. I'm gonna have to do some fighting. Unfortunately, there's no explorable of Fariner in Guild Wars 2, which is a shame. Rinnanet, you should have done that. Oh, oh, they're here. Okay, Ridlock, Kanak, and oh yeah, Zayn is here with us. Yeah, I kind of forgot who the players were at the time, right? The you know, they always kind of change it up. Who kind of comes with us? What is that down there? So anyways, we kind of look at this. I mean, this is not like looking at this. But I guess it's supposed to be? I guess it's supposed to be. I guess we're looking at the, like, we're right above the Eternal Reservoir. Okay? So we're actually, like, in the same places in Endgame. Is there, like, a statue of Balthazar destroyed somewhere over here or something? Because sometimes the Arena Night was good. And we're gonna see this as we go through specifically through these Ilona regions. You know, like resurrection shrines and stuff. Like actually having the resurrection, like destroyed statues where the resurrection shrines used to be. Like there's one that I think of on the top of my head immediately. There's one right over here. If you go into the desolation, and you go like up right here, I think that's it right there or something. I think that's it, right? Like right over here. And if you look in like Guild Wars, if you look in like Guild Wars 1 or something, I want to say like in that same location, which would be what, north of the Rapture. I guess it would be out in the it would be out in the Crystal Oasis or whatever. There's like I think the statue like aligns perfectly. I'm not sure exactly where I guess it ends here. The Ilona regions in Guild Wars 1 end right here, I think. Because the Poison Ouse crop, that's kind of what I'm looking at. You guys see, like, we have the same area there, and it's kind of the most northern part here. And then you can obviously go to the other side. So that's probably as far as we'll actually go when we talk about the Ilona regions, right? We're gonna go here. We're not going here. We're going to both of those, to Vabi, to the Desolation, Key of Arashim. I'm gonna see if someone has a finished instance of that. If someone can give that to me once we get to that point, that'd be great, because we can explore that a little bit, and we can do that. So, but anyways, yeah, because this was not available to us. Okay, you guys can kind of see. Again, this was underwater. The southern. I mean, they actually did a nice job, because you look at the rivers, right? You can kind of see the rivers, the way that they did it. I mean, it's pretty, like, there's a river running through here and through here, right? And you have island part here, but it does look like more, like there's more. I don't know. Does it connect there? I don't know. But yeah, they did. I think they did a really nice job. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the mountain. I would like to see the rest of that island. Anywho, let's continue in our Fairner thing. Let's keep our eye out for a Balthazar statue, perhaps, maybe. We'll see. Maybe not, because we would have already come across it, I think. Oh boy. Yeah, so Guildress. I'm gonna do Guildress. I'm gonna try to do both at the same time. It's gonna be tough because, like I said, it's kind of hard to do both at the same time. What is on me? What is this? Oh, Anthem of Flame. Oh, Zaim, you Paragon. Anthem of Flame is a skill in Guildress 1, just so you guys know. We will probably use it too, because I think it's pretty okay. It does burning or something. It causes burning on attacks. Bam. So we have to come up to the gate, right? So I don't think there is a... Yeah, so we're not going that way. Is there a pathway this way? I think there is. Yeah, there's a pathway up this river this way. I'm trying to find out I'm trying to go like exactly the same path that they have us take. So I think so there's a gate here in Guildress 2. That's the gate that we're right in front of right now. I think that doesn't exist in Guildress 1. I think. Oh, lovely. Hold on. God, I hate cannons. No. I hate all of you. Please stop it. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Goodbye. Coolio. Thanks. So, as we go up here, we can kind of... I'm going to do some Guildress 2, kind of clearing out some of these enemies here. Unfortunately, I fortunately do have some NPCs that do help me, and they do a pretty decent job actually with damage. So I gotta say, they're not completely useless, okay? But yeah, so there's the entrance. And there's some ruins right in front of it, right? So let's do the same thing here in Guild Wars 1. I'm gonna approach from the right. Because I think those are the same ruins that we're looking at right now. Maybe not. Oh god. My mouse is all over the place. Oh, is the music really loud for you guys? Turn it down a little bit. I don't know how loud it is for you guys, but I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know it's a little all over the place. They always have been like that. They kind of have been all over the place a little bit with it's just very hard to steer two games at the same time and talk and look and try to pay attention to things that are happening, and it's very like it uses 70 billion% of my brain, which is already not very not there. So we could have gone across that bridge there. I guess I did go the wrong way. I guess I did go the wrong way. I wanted to go the exact same way that we went in Guild Wars 2. Problem is I couldn't orientate myself based on a river because there's no river. As you guys can see, the name here is Jokanur Passage, which is based off of the outpost that's over there, which is called the Jokanur Diggings. Okay, so Jokanur Diggings is the outpost, which we're kind of looping towards. That would be like over there. So. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh my god. Thank you. See, I stopped paying attention for 3 seconds, and it's just like not happening. So let's kind of backtrack a little bit. So we saw a little bit more of the area, and let's go across the bridge, because that is most certainly, I think, where we're where we're going. Again, the paths don't really align perfectly. There is a big building here. No door. So let's go across this bridge. I thought maybe we weren't going across the bridge because we didn't go over a river in Guild Wars 1 or in Guild Wars 2. But maybe we did go this way. Because that makes, in my head, that makes more sense with the area. Like this little plaza is this little plaza right here. It's gonna be this one, this little brighter spot on the map there. That's where we're coming to. So it kind of makes sense that we're coming from directly south. Die. You evil scale. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we're kind of approaching the same thing. So it's, I think the path is actually like right in the middle between these two or something, I would like to think. I think it's like right in the middle there or something. It doesn't perfectly align, but that's okay. You know, again, things have changed in 250 years, and that is a-okay. There's a lot of enemies here. We should be fine. These are all, I mean, they're level 15, but we have a group of 8. You come in here usually, I think, with a group of 6, I want to say. There's a group of 4 or a group of 6 that you come in during this mission. So we should be okay. We have a full, but look at all these scale in here. Holy crap. We get some birds flying up above. Hello. And I think there's a, is there a scale boss in there? I don't see a boss, but kind of kill all these guys. Pressing the wrong button. I thought there was a boss around here somewhere. But anyways, so we are here at the gates, okay? So we have the gate here. I can't move because they're body blocking me. Stop it. So yeah, there's some ruins here, right? And then from the ruins we go into where the first part is, okay? Where the giant things that come down. Now it's really cool, because I want to say that the original, wasn't there like original concept or trailer? I want to say there was a trailer or something where they showed these, right? These things coming down, but there was a lot of them, right? And it's like we did see that in Guild Wars 2 as well for the trailer or something. I want to say there was like things where we saw that. Oh, I forgot that we can actually mount up in this. So we're walking through the gate, right? And instead of just having one, we actually get 3 here. We get 3 of these things coming down, which is kind of not the same. But I'm gonna nonetheless walk through here. And we get some undead hanging out. Look at these halls. Big spider web up there. Kill them all, please. So yeah, so this is the hall. So if we come through here, can I just pass through the front? Goodness, all right. I can just, this is, look at this. I can just like cheat my way through. Oh. All right. We make our way through. So we would now go, oh God. Your journey ends here. Guys, help. I'm gonna die. I'm going to die. Please, no. Alright, one down, another one down. Stop it. What's with all these mechanics? Goodbye. Goodbye. There's actually a brandstone in here. Can you actually use your thing, like your stuff on it? Destroy statue. Blessed by the five is Dala, daughter to the king. May her life be full of love, contentment, and good health. May the newest royal daughters rule Farinur and lead us to a brighter future. Yeah, we don't really get to see her body, but she kinda, that's her. So, okay, so it already kind of doesn't work out because the hall points, you know, I'm backwards. So we come through there, and immediately we have to go to the left. Okay, we have to go to the left and go down a hall, so it doesn't quite work out. That's okay. There's another hall here. Let's see where. Oh, there's another one of these. That's right. I forgot about that. So there are multiple of these, but they're not in a row. Okay. We have flame traps in here. We have a giant sunspear statue, and we have flame traps. So just be careful as you're walking through here, because you're gonna get burnt a lot. We actually get to go all the way to the far side here. Dreadlord Onra is there. We can actually go and look. Right, there's more monuments out at sea. And we can kind of see a ship way down there. That's the far side, right? That's the far side of Istan. Looking out into the areas there. So if we were to kind of maybe the Timy's Hairbow, right? Because we're looking to rescue Timmy, whatever. And we go further across here, right? Because we ventured all the way to the end. I wonder if we can actually see the ocean in Guild Wars 2. I wonder if we can actually see it. So as you guys can see, even the like structures and stuff look very different, right? This is very, very different from what we're actually seeing right now. But you know, it is what it is. The thing is, the thing about it is like, it's the location and certain things like those things come crashing down that people remember. You don't remember the architecture, right? Because most people don't consume their video games like I do, where they sit there and they look at the architecture of a building, or, you know, they run through and they're just like, oh, I remember this from the first game. Yeah, that was a thing, you know? We have a hall here that we can go through. Oh my god, more brandstones flying in. Jesus. Yeah, we don't really get to see wait, how far can I go down that hall though? I guess they don't like following me on my sky scale. They're not a fan, I guess, of me. Okay, let's see if we can see the ocean from here. Look, guys, the never-ending ocean. This is the special one. No, there's water. Alright, well, I tried. But anyways. So we turn left and we go down this hallway here. Zaim is fighting by himself, as one does. So Nadage's assembly. I don't know. We're kind of making our way through. I don't think that this aligns perfectly, but we're just gonna work our way down. So we're going south through the hall. Oh, there's a collector, a water gen essence collector. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh my god, the rubber banding, Jesus. We turn right. I'm just trying to get, at this point, I'm just trying to get to the most inner chamber. Yeah, so I think the whole reason why it doesn't look the same is because in Guild Wars 2 ArenaNet, like, both times they designed it like a dungeon almost, right? Like you're going through and you're going through different areas, and I have a sneeze that's not like it's there, but it's not coming out, and I'm like, it's driving me crazy. So it's just kind of I think the idea there is like they designed it as dungeons in both games, right? So in Guild Wars 1 you kind of like have to make your way through, and in Guild Wars 2 you have to make your way through, but differently, right? And it's kind of I don't know. I mean, I feel like I feel indifferent about it really. Like is it bad that it doesn't look the same? I don't know. I just like that we get callbacks to certain areas. Because I also understand that it's impossible to kind of do, like, have the same areas over and over again, you know? Guild Wars 1 actually gives us a lot more of Fariner. So this is the final chamber, right? This is where we come in. This is where we see the tentacles of Abaddon of Torment coming out, right? Water Gin. So this guy collects Water Gin essences. He just wants one, and he will give you a cool weapon. Um, I guess these are decent weapons or whatever. So you can go in and you can defeat some of these Water Gins, especially Hyos Blessed Wind down there. Jin are pretty strong creatures. This is the level 17 Jin, so that's kind of strong for sure. So I don't know. I don't know what the does it use a. I wonder. I wonder how strong it is. Forgot what guild does. Alright, it died. It wasn't that strong. But yeah, this is the innermost chamber, right? This is the innermost chamber where the water is, and you can kind of, like, on the map, you can kind of see how this would be considered the innermost chamber as well, right? So we kind of have that, but there's more areas to kind of explore in Fariner. Oops. Trying to play 2 games again, guys. Gonna make it happen here. Alright. Oh yeah, this is where Bram pops up. Hello. All these dead. Inquest or not, Joko will pay for this. We actually have some scree, which are harpies. Harpies and griffins is what they are. And they actually, the southern part of the Fariner have been taken over by these guys. I think that's mostly what we'll see in here. I gotta play Guild Wars 2, sorry guys. Take this. Yeah. Oh god. Oh my god, more? And look at how tall these guys are. Look at how tall these Asuran guys are. Huge. Whee! Ugh, they all explode. More? More? Even more? I could do this all day. I guess. I don't want to, though. Can we not do this all day, please? Oh boy. Dead. They are big, right? Yeah. Like their bodies are. Oh my god, hello. Oh my god, this guy's tanky as fuck. Ah, god, I did it too early. But I keep getting the Song of Power. It applies quickness. I love that. I wish we had a Paragon in Guild Wars 2. Paragon are just cool. Paragon are exactly like, I don't know, they're not exactly the class that I love to play, but um, I don't know. I just love the idea of them using song and chants to like strengthen your your teammates and stuff. I did it too early again. Why did I do this so early? Holy crap! No, please stop it. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. It's not. Oh, it's tough. Tough. This instance is tough. Why is this so hard? Help! Ah! Oh my god. Oh my god, I almost had it. Alright, this is when Bram does his kabram! Or whatever. So let's explore more and go to see. We have another one of these over here. Oh, there's Baltec. Oh my gosh. I did not think we were gonna see this guy today. Hello. So this is this is gonna be really dumb. So before and I talked about this guy. I made a couple videos with him, and I talked about him during the map streams and stuff. So Baltec is this character that appears randomly in maps around I want to say is it just Istan? Or does he appear like I think he's just around Istan. He appears in random maps around Istan, and he speaks very differently to any other character that we've met up until this point. And I had a theory because he just appears, and he actually does talk about like time travel, and he talks about like, you know, I talked about the ghost ship. Do you guys remember how I talked about the ghost ship that you know, that he was saying is like I was talking about, he was standing up here, right? And I was talking about how they're like the big ships were out here and stuff when we were doing the map stream. And he was saying, oh, there was a ghost ship sighted somewhere around here, right? And I was like, and I talked about how I used to like hope maybe that was like a quest or something where you could actually see like a ghost ship or something, right? And he's this character, and I made this theory about how I thought maybe he was part of the Astral Ward. Maybe he was a wizard of the Wizard's Court or something. And he was kind of maybe in charge of like Istan, because that's where we kind of find him, because he has knowledge and language of other things happening, right? And I was kind of talking about like, oh, maybe the Astral Ward like knows how to like time travel, and they don't just simply like fight in the here and now. They kind of like travel around in different like periods of time to kind of like solve things behind the scenes, because that's what Isgarin kind of does, and that's what the Astral Ward kind of does, is they try to like work things behind the scenes. Like they don't want to be they don't want to be known by people and stuff, so they kind of like work their way, you know, and hide themselves away and do things. So he's this guy. So he has like random dialogue, and it doesn't actually, I think there's only a couple of times where it actually like matters what he says, or maybe not even. Like, I don't know, he just has random dialogue, and they never explained who he was. He's just kind of this random guy that talks about random things. So I didn't think we were actually gonna come across him, but here he is. So I'm exceedingly preoccupied with contentious matters. Is this urgent? Do you need any help? This is a dangerous region for someone traveling alone. Unlike weaker souls, I'm able to safeguard my person without employing ungainly forged is it chitin? I always forget how to pronounce that. And sharpened lengths of metal. I require none of your cumbersome aid, I assure you. I was wondering why you're wandering through this area. How interesting for you. Okay, maybe you can take care of yourself. Tell me, why are you here? Like, it's just kind of like, you're still here? I feel as though I'm conversing with an inebriated waterfowl. I see the penchant to prove oneself a nuisance is still a talent cultivated by simple folk. What a waste. So he talks as if like he comes from the future, right? He's just kind of, or he comes from the past or something. No, it sounds like he comes from the past because he's like, I see the penchant to prove oneself a nuisance is still a talent cultivated by simple folk. Or maybe he hasn't been around quote unquote simple folk for a long time, right? So like there's kind of hints that he's been somewhere else or he travels somewhere else or whatever. So that's why I was just like, maybe he's part of the Astral Ward. Very well. If it will extricate me from your unwanted attentions, there are items that hold a certain archimetrical infusion. Sorry, you would say power. People who understand the urgence of, oh my god, I don't know how to pronounce this. Visish, visit, vicitude. I don't know how to pronounce that. That is like the hardest word ever. How do you pronounce that? Whatever items. It's like, my god. It's like English is my second language, guys. It's hard for me, okay? Such as me, desire to obtain them for reasons you could not possibly understand. Trust me, your mind is just too small. So why are you here? I've temporarily ceased my trek at this particular locale because one of the indigenous quarries is in the process of excavating directly into the side of an ancient, well, never you mind what. Let me merely state that delving into this primeval site will uncover some very interesting artifacts. The excavators are far too puerile to have an interest in such goods, and I have come to appropriate the items. What do these artifacts do? I misspoke earlier. I meant to say that you sound like a mentally impeded waterfowl who has suffered multiple self-inflicted head traumas. So he's really rude. He doesn't want to talk to us, and he's just like uses his super fancy talk, and he doesn't want to tell us anything. But he kind of talked about how this excavation is happening, right? We talked about the diggings, Jokanur diggings, right? They're digging out the old Fariner the First city, and they're kind of exploring the whole area, right? And he's talking about how he stopped here because this excavation is about to come across some very powerful artifacts that we don't know what they could potentially do, but he's saying he's here to procure them, right? So again, that kind of leads into, like, we talk about the Astral Ward and we talk about how they're, they keep a lot of these artifacts, right? They have, like, when we talk about Legavo and Mulmund, right? Like, Legavo is being kept in the where Livia is hanging out in those, like, whatever, the reliquaries chamber or stuff or whatever, right? They have a lot of powerful artifacts that they have kind of procured that they kind of keep, almost like the Dermot Priory, but they probably only keep items that are not necessarily, like, important to history. They probably only keep things that potentially could be harmful to the world, so they kind of safe keep it there, right? So again, this would kind of match, like, Baltec could be part of the Astral Ward, because they did exist at these times, right? So he could be part of the Astral Ward, and could be procuring this for the Astral Ward. So it's kind of interesting. So he's rude to us, right? Your thoughts dive in shallow ponds. Ha! Yes, a clearer picture there. I desire knowledge, names, places, events, all of it. This intellectual discourse has all been written down on ancient scrolls. The certain scroll I'm searching for deals with a place of nightmare and the terrible beings that dwell there. Are you frightened yet, little one? You should be. So talking about names, places, events. So historical records of things that have happened in the past. And there's ancient scrolls that talk about nightmare, meaning they talk about, Abaddon and the realm of torment, and probably talk about things during the time of the gods, right? But now, leave me. Our interlocution has reached the limits of efficacy, or in the colloquial language of you simple folk, and any meaning or purpose was non-extent for me from the outset. Go away. So you came to Zeri to find a magic item? What sort of item exactly? They belong to a most effulgent mage from an exceptionally advanced civilization. He was able to traverse through multiple planes of existence, some of which predate the one you currently call your native soil. No, I won't tell you more. No, you can't fetch anything for me. No, I don't need your help at all. Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have big person quandaries to ruminate over. So, and this goes into the the theory, this, and I'm sorry that we're kind of doing a sidetrack here, but it's just interesting that we came across this character. But the theory is that Baltac here is talking about the mage. He's the guy that went to the mists. Oh my god, what was his name? Lord Audrin. Lord Audrin, I've talked about him before. I didn't even find it, just popped into my head. Lord Audrin, yeah. So Lord Audrin was the guy, and I've talked about him again. This was during the same video where I talked about people that could be part of the asteroid. Lord Audrin was the first one that went through the mists and went to the rift, which is the center of the mists. And he made that map that we talked about, where like the center of the mist is like there's an eye symbol, right? And it's like a sun, right? And there's like all these different things around, and we didn't really know what it was. And so the theory is that Baltec is talking about Lord Audrin, how, you know, and he was the guy that like went through the mists and he knew all these things, right? And the idea here is that they were hinting at the next expansion of Guild Wars 1, because remember, after Nightfall, it wasn't supposed to be Eye of the North. It wasn't supposed to go to Guild Wars 2 immediately. They were actually working on another expansion called Utopia, which had like the like Aztec and Mayan like influences and stuff. It was like South America, like that, those kind of like influences there. And it was supposed to take place in the mists, and we were supposed to actually go to the to the Garden of the Gods or something is what it was called, or Playground of the Gods or something. And there was supposed to be like a city, like a clockwork city in the mists and stuff. That there's that famous concept art out there of like the city that's on top of these gears or whatever. And that's what it was supposed to be about. And that's what a lot of people are thinking, that Baltec was supposed to be this character that was supposed to hint at this next expansion that was coming. That ArenaNet was probably at this point already working on it, you know, or whatever. Like they put in this guy to kind of tease people as like, oh yeah, check out like Istan, right? And it's like, you know, because Istan Nightfall would have been the expansion before going into Utopia, you know. So maybe that's what he was here for, you know, and kind of preview that. But that's him. So let's venture further through. It's kind of cool to talk about these things and see these things. This is another one of these halls. This is like parallel to the hall that we were in earlier that we walked through. I'm just trying to, actually, I'm trying to go this way. I went the wrong way. All right, so in Guild Wars 2, we make our way further through. This is where the gates are. They kind of show you the gates. There's Ascalon there. You can kind of see that is the old wall with some of the char buildings there. And we have to, I guess, close it? Oh, yeah, we do. Oh my god, did you guys see that? I just lost like half my health and like one attack from an enemy or something. Alright, we closed the gate to Ascalon. Wee! Excuse me, pardon me, coming through. And this is the Metrica Province gate. Let's close that. Bye! The cab is so annoying. Alright, fight our way through here. God, there's so many enemies. Holy crap. Yeah, this is kind of insane for like an instance that they did. It's like they went like right into the deep end with season 4, episode 1. Alright, we did it. Can you die, please? I don't know why you're still. And we're going through Fairner. Maybe I won't give you guys a preview of the other areas, because I feel like, and I'm not trying to like go back on what I said earlier, but I feel like we're playing Nightfall. We're gonna be going into those areas. Oh, hello, fire. So it's kind of interesting to think, um, or to just maybe wait and just, oh, there's a couple of these in a row. Am I gonna die? I might die. I'm gonna wait. Yeah, because they will instantly kill me, so. I wanted to go out this way because I wanted to show you guys. So this is where the statues were. This is where the Eternal Reservoir is, as they call it in Guild Wars 2. We were over there. That's where the Balthazar statue was. Oh, there's that gate. There was a gate. I didn't even notice that there was a gate. I guess we did come through a gate then. Yeah, this is Fairner in Guild Wars 1. We're just gonna kind of move through the rest here. Oh, I gotta get those stupid rocks. Alright. I'm like, is that really happening right now? You guys get on these other... Frostbite! Thank you. Frostbite, can you please get on that? I do have to get a rock. Why is there an open chest here? Is that something you have to collect for like a, I have a feeling it's for like a collection or something. They have to like collect that. I need a second rock. I forgot. How'd I get you? They're like, yeah, well, need a second rock, buddy. Oh, that's not a rock. I guess they call it boulder. It is bigger than a rock. Alright. And bloop. Now I can go on here. What are these symbols? Not heavy enough. I need more boulders. Oh boy. How engaging. I probably need 2 boulders, right? Like, it's never as easy as just like get a boulder. It's like get 75 of them. I don't care to fight you right now. Alright, we did it. Aren't we cool? Alright. Inquest technology in the first city. Making our way through. Investigate the room. We're investigating. Oh, look at this. We got a CERN cube in here. Do they mean just defeat more enemies with investigate? Alright, while they're doing that, we're gonna venture, walk around a little bit in here. Show you guys these areas. Yeah, I feel like since we are gonna go through some of these areas in Guild Wars 2 or in Guild Wars 1 when we do the Nightfall. Ram, you're a genius. You walk through the freaking press the button. That's not the one. Right. Um, no, slam your hand. No, that's not it. Cross the wires. Press the button. There we go. Got it. And then we come to the hall. This doesn't look anything like the final hall that we were in even in Guild Wars 1. So I don't know really. Um, oh, that's interesting. I never realized that they were like floating. But yeah, so this could potentially be the same, but it looks very different. Like the 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 chamber that we were in with the water and stuff. It's not a circular room though, but that is the center. That is the main center of the thing, and they kind of show you here that it goes further down, right? So it has parts here, kind of like how it has it here. There's parts down here and parts up here, but then in the middle it has that room. So I guess that's supposed to be that final room or whatever. There's no sense in exploring that even because I because it doesn't actually lead anywhere, and we can't actually go further past there. I don't think. Oh. I mean, we can, but there's nothing back there, so I know if that's it. But yeah, so that's fair enough for you guys. I'm gonna get the heck out of here because we're doing that. So that's kind of it for Istan. If we're and as you guys can kind of see, there's even in Guild Wars 1 we don't get to explore all of it. Like we don't get to explore the tip here. There's a couple areas like this area in between that we don't get to see. We do get to see there's an outpost here. We don't get to see the beaches up here. We don't get to see like this or whatever. But it's a lot less in Guild Wars 2 that we get to see. There would be like whole areas down here. Like I said, there's the cliffs of Dojak would be like right here. Then we get Becknor Harbor there. Then we get the Isnur Isles. I think they do have a reference to those, don't they? Oh, I'm in the wrong. I need it. Oh, well, I guess there's only one a reference to it. So, this bay is called Isner Bay because it's the bay that's above the Isles, so it's named after that. And then the Matani Keys. Again, I could totally see a mini expansion take place on this island, right? I could totally see them like add an area up here, right, which would be the Zelon Reach. That we have a map here, and then maybe have a map down here as the second map, and that would be the Latenda Bog, and then have another map that goes like over here or something on this side, which is part of the Isno Isles as well as the Matani Keys, right? And you have a mini expansion build right there for you, and you deal with, I don't know, some kind of, whatever. You could come up with whatever at that point. It's like some kind of isolated thread that's just taking place, there or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much Istan. So, pretty small. A lot of things just kind of in name. I mean, Palawadan, it's like we do see a little bit of the water thing, the thing that divided them or whatever, and the counselor area, being maybe repurposed or something. Um, we see the village out here. We see the Great Hall, the Astrolarium, which is completely different now. Champion's Dawn, which was like an excavation at some point, but now is like a prison thing. Um, Other than that, everything is kind of like, and then of course in name, the Fairner for City. So we do get a couple of areas here and there that, uh, that are, you can compare them to each other. You know, it's definitely there. I think it's going to be more interesting once we go to Gendera. Is going to be really interesting to look at. That's going to be really, really cool to see. I'm excited to kind of do that with you guys because you can kind of see the attached island there. Bokos prison ruins. So this used to be a, a prison, right? And in Guild Wars 1, it actually is a prison. So we can actually go in there and stuff, and we're going to explore that. Then we have the Arkjock Ward, which has the little garrison out there, which I told you guys is that little town right here. The encampment, the allied encampment right here. That used to be the garrison right there. So we'll see that. And again, this Domain of Korna was one of those kind of releases that was a little bit disappointing because there's a lot of like open spaces that nothing happens, right? Nothing happens here, nothing happens here, nothing happens really out here. You have a couple of the cave thing, you can do a couple things in there. Yolon Bluffs, nothing really happens out here. The pond, nothing really happens here. We're gonna see that pond as well. The farmlands, I've kind of talked about those. The Arkjock farmlands, you know, it's going to be in the ward over here. It's actually going to be up there. You know, there's a lot of open spaces where like nothing happens, and it's a little like most of the events are all just like from here down. And I think when people think about Domain of Korna, that's what they think about, right? They think about they think about the fortress, right? They think about um maybe the bayou, right? They think about the field over here with the corsairs fighting. They think about the vine wall that's built and stuff. Maybe the cave and stuff. But you don't really think about like these Caudanor Crossing. Like Caudanor Crossing right here is actually an outpost, but you don't actually see really like any of that really. Yolon Bluffs, right? We actually have what is that named after? It's named after something. Isn't there an outpost somewhere? Oh, Yolon Haven out here. Which is actually like Yolon Haven would be like over here. Like if you look at it, it would be like over here, Yolon Haven. So, but they have a reference to the Yolon Bluffs here, right? But yeah, it's unfortunate, but we're gonna do that. So we're Domain of Korna and Jahai Bluffs. Both of those maps are going to happen for the next comparison stream because that's all of Korna. We're going to explore all of Korna. It's going to be a lot of walking around. We're not going to explore this side of it because that's not available in Guild Wars 2. It ends with the Sanctuary. So we're actually going to see Tourist Procession, Jahai Bluffs, Yatendi Canyons. That's as far as I'm going to go, I think, right? Because that is Viteni Vineyards Chamber. Yes, yeah, that's right. Because it ends right here with the Reclaimed Chantry. There's a Chantry of Secrets, so it kind of ends up here anyways. So we're gonna go to those areas. It, unfortunately, we don't get to go to. We can't actually go here, but I guess there's like the floodplain doesn't actually I think it's like cut off like right there. So we're gonna go to Caudanor. We're gonna go to the estate. Actually is down, the estate is actually down here. That's the estate down here. Kind of talked about that. We're not gonna do the Barbarous Shore because that is cut off. That is over on the side here. That's not available. But yeah, so we're gonna do Korna. It's gonna be that, and then it's gonna be you know, pretty much starting here and going across there. So we're going to do that there, and that's going to be these two maps. And that's going to happen probably next Sunday. And then we're going to go into Vabi after that. Domain of Vabi has some really cool areas that we're going to see. Like you can kind of see like this is right over here, for example, like one of those things. We're going to see some cool stuff there. We're going to see this right here. We're going to talk about that. Kodash Bazaar, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, because you can see it right there. Uh, Vajan Mines, we're gonna explore that because they do exist here as well. So that's gonna be there. And like I said, if I can get an open instance of this, like a finished one, we can explore that because the hidden city is out there as well. So there you go. Oh, I didn't read some of these outposts and stuff. Astrolarium, let's read that. The Astrolarium, sitting high atop the bluffs of northern Istan, is home to the astronomically oriented Order of the Sky. So there's an actual order. I don't know if they name them like that in Guild Wars. I don't know if in Guild Wars 2 they're called the Order of the Sky. Are they called the Order of the Sky? I'm gonna, as I auto run, we're gonna read a little bit more. This open air laboratory with its multiple solar reflectors and pedestal mounted astrolabes is the center of astrological and astronomical study in Elona. Scholars from all three provinces flock to the Zilon Reach to study under the stars at the Astrolarium and try to divine the meaning of ancient dark prophecies. So yeah, I don't think they're named the Order of the Sky here. I could be wrong. Would be interesting to maybe talk to some of these NPCs, some of these scholars. I have that stupid lag thing again happening because I'm in the game for a couple of hours and then it always happens. No. That's for brandstone hunting. What's going on upon the deepest truths of our world? This is definitely not. Yeah, so I don't think they were called the Order of the Sky in Guild Wars 2, but as in Guild Wars 1 they are called. Yeah, so there's that. Champion's Dawn, situated near the mineral-rich cliffs of Jojok, which is the quarry site that I talked about. Is the Champion's Dawn is the base of operations for the Istani Society of Engineers and Architects. The stone and gems quarried here have fueled Istani architecture for millennia. The primeval style has so deeply impacted modern Istani builders that the society has a long-standing rivalry with the Excavation Corps over the status of the ruins to the west. Talking about these, the ruins over here, I think, and these ruins where the quarry is happening and stuff, or maybe, oh no, maybe even the Ferner ruins there. So, that's those couple of things, and then I don't have that outpost out here, but that's okay. So, but yeah, anyways, so that's Istan for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna be back with we're gonna do a chill stream. I'm probably gonna do World vs. World, do a little bit of that because I'm still working on my. I'm trying to get my at least one set of legendary armor done before the next expansion comes out. God knows when that is. I don't know. We'll find out on Tuesday. I'm guessing August. What was it? August 20th was my guess. I think is what I said. August 20th. I'm gonna pin. I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna actually look at it again. I'm gonna tell you guys what my prediction is for that. But well, it's not really a prediction. I mean, it's like right on here. You know what I mean? Like they literally have 78 days. So whatever 78 days from today is, that's when I think the next expansion will come out. Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, chill stream tomorrow. Tuesday, big announcement day. Make sure you're here if you guys want to hang out and talk and hear my theories about everything. Obviously, I will upload the stream as well. So, and then Sunday, we're going to continue with comparison streams. And I don't know if I'm going to continue then Monday and Tuesday after that. I will not be streaming that Tuesday. So I will be streaming tomorrow and then Tuesday. But then the Tuesday after that, on the 11th, I will not be streaming, just so you guys know, because I have to work. Why am I getting attacked? I have to work, so I'm not going to be available to stream. So we'll only probably do Sunday and Monday that streaming week or whatever. So thank you everyone that's here. Thank you, Squirt. Is it Squirt? Is that I don't know your guys' names. You guys all have like different names across all social media, so it's kind of wild to me. But as always, thank you, Emily. Thank you, Elvis. Thank you, Scort. Thank you, Seth, again, for coming back. Appreciate that. Jacob, as always. Timothy, thank you so much for sharing. Guys, check out Timothy over on Twitter. Um, whatever I said earlier. Go back to the stream earlier, whatever I said. And then Aram, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure having you. Yeah, and everyone else that was in the background hanging out or whatever. So I